My God! My God!
Rope in, people, rope in, rope in, rope in, rope in, rope in. You know the straps.
Things I'm a trampos. Me no need nothing from you. And if you hear something different, somebody must give you the wrong news. The Benz off the parkside at the Land Cruise. Good body girl, welcome, thank you. You know see me lifestyle impromptu. Me get my thing them brand new. Man keeping it real, I'm not just run my mouth. Well, militant can't take me for no Boy Scout. I'ma try through life, I'ma keep on the money right. Knowledge what them a talk about. Yo, me have to rich forever, and never, and never. Tell them I pray for rich forever, and never, and never. Search for better, rich forever.
You know it, go.
And never, and never. Go for the cheddar, rich forever, and never, and never, ever and ever. Enough man born poor and them die poor. Unsure what them I live them life for. Me can't see myself forever in a corner store. Me see myself at tour relaxing on Bahamas shore. Paying for every clothes that my mama wore. Right now me guaranteed to be a guarantor. Full time and starting like an entrepreneur. And move up to the top and level the score. Man keeping it real, I'm not just run my mouth. Well, militant can't take me for no Boy Scout. I'ma try through life, I'ma keep on the money route. Knowledge what them I talk about. Yo, man, I feel rich forever, and never, and never. Tell them I pray for rich forever, and never, and never. Search for better, rich forever, and never, and never. Go for the cheddar, rich forever, and never, and never, ever and ever.
yo, 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 yo. Yeah, man. Yes, people, rope in.
My God! My God!
You must eat and be satisfied.
Rope in, pips. You know it, go? Hey.
My God! My God!
All right, yeah.
My God!
Rope in, people.
My
Come true. Bless up, First Millennial Entertainment. Live we live. Bomb Yes. Yo, welcome to the live, everybody. Welcome to the live. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Welcome to the live. Because the Lord said. Amen, Sister Rona. All right. Well, go on, everybody. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Sunday evening? I want to say, first of all, thank you guys for being here. You could be anywhere else, but you're right here with us, and that means a lot. We have a really nice show that we'd like to give you guys today. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to it. It's something that has been brewing ever since the last 3 or 4 years, particularly it's particularly common or popular in the United States of America, but I'm pretty sure it's being practiced all over the world in different countries. So we have this issue where whenever you purchase a food to go, ever since COVID happened or right before, you're usually prompted to pay a tip before you process your card payment and get your food and leave. So it's personally, guys, I don't have an issue with giving somebody a tip or at a restaurant if I'm doing a to-go order, because it's something that I do frequently, to be quite honest. But my thing is, I really don't like to be forced or guilted into giving a tip or for a reason that isn't valid, because rightfully, guys, whenever you go to a restaurant and you sit down, you get service. That's a different thing, because you get a service and, you pay the waiter, the waiter or the server a tip whenever you're finished eating, and everybody's happy, right? But if I'm just, going to the local coffee shop or wherever it is. I'm grabbing a sandwich or something, and I just want to grab it and go. The last thing I'm thinking about is tipping the person for doing absolutely nothing extra, you know? So a lot of people are disgruntled about that, and I've been researching it, and I found that it's something that that's wagging on the tongues of a lot of people. So that's Bono. So that's why I brought this up as a topic, and yeah, there's a lot to talk about with it, and I hope you guys enjoy. So before anything, I want to say thank you guys for coming to the last live. The last live was really, really good. We had some real cool calls. Man, I think we're in the 13th episode right now, so we're moving, guys, and the numbers are going up as well. I would like to see a lot more likes on the videos, though. If you guys could please do me that favor, as well as subscribe to the channel, because I noticed that there's a lot of people watching the channel that are not subscribed. There's way more people watching the channel that are subscribed, and guys, I see a lot of the people that are watching the channel, like, you know, the analytics shows me that stuff. So you know, guys, if you can, just please subscribe, no man, please. May I beg you? You know, you don't make me have to beg. Yeah, I see you watching the multiple videos, and it seems like you guys are enjoying it because you're watching the videos for quite some time. So the least you can do is just look to see if the subscribe button is already subscribed, and just subscribe. And while you subscribe, also put on the notification bell. That would do great for the algorithm. It will make the live and the program a lot more popular, and the more popular it is, the nicer it is, because then more people can see it and more people can call in and just give their input and make the show even better. So do me a favor, guys, if you haven't already, like the live, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And if you haven't already and you think there's somebody that might be interested in this content, definitely go ahead and share this live. All right, so we got some callers lined up, some real good ones. I think our first caller is gonna be Chin. He should be very excited. Should be a very exciting caller. You know, because you know Chin always has strong opinions on certain things. So I'm expecting to hear a couple gimmicks along the way. And then I think we have Carlos lined up as well, and we might have a couple other few callers as well. And I will also open the phone lines for just random people that want to call and talk about the topic. All right. So without further ado, guys, I want to get into this topic here. If you're looking on the screen, you can see. Hold on for a sec, guys. Let me just make sure this is working. Okay. Happens every single time, huh? Let me just fix this right here. Screen capture. Oh, not that. Excuse me. Hold on. This is it right here. There we go. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, perfect. All right, so as you can see, guys, when you look at the screen right now, you can see the title of the topic. It's The Evolution of Tipping Culture. Why to-go order tips are leaving consumers unhappy. And like I said in the intro, guys, you know, a lot of consumers, a lot of customers, they're a little bit unhappy about this. You know, when people are going to get a to-go order, they don't want to feel like they have to be guilted into tipping. You know, and I have no problem with tipping. You know, I actually do tip on to-go orders, but honestly, it feels like extortion in a sense. You know, I feel like I'm being extorted if I'm prompted to tip. You know, it shouldn't be right in front of me to where I have to say, no, I don't want to tip. It should be on the side somewhere. So if I want to tip, I can say, oh, let me just click to the side and tip, right? All right, so let's get into the topic. But before we get into the topic, we first got to talk about our sponsors, guys, you know, because they pay the bills, all right? So our first sponsor is Katrina Correa Real Estate Professional for real estate purchases and rentals in the South Florida area. Katrina Correa, you can find her at Remax Direct. Her phone number is 561-420-4722. Her email address is katrina@thejphomegroup.com. Also, you can find her at katrinakorea.remax.com if you're trying to contact her on the web, guys. And if you haven't, if this is your first time seeing this ad, guys, I always talk about this Hometown Heroes Florida housing program that's going on right now. All working Florida residents now are eligible to receive up to $35,000 down payment and closing cost assistance to buy a new home. So if you're looking for a home or a house to rent or to purchase, or you're looking for raw land, anything of that nature, guys, definitely hit up Katrina Korea. She's a very experienced real estate agent and she will get you right, all right? Our next sponsor is Millennials Trucking LLC. Millennials Trucking for local and long distance shipping throughout the state of Georgia. Guys, if you're looking to move anything, whether it may be business or whether it mean moving furniture, these are the people you want to call. They'll haul your stuff anywhere you need it to go, whether it be short distance or long distance. They're particularly located in the Georgia area. So if you're in the Georgia area or the surrounding area of Georgia, the surrounding states, you can definitely give them a contact. Their website is millennialstruckingllc.com. All right, guys. So Millennials Trucking LLC. Our next sponsor is White Eagle Electric Inc. South Florida Services, commercial, residential, and industrial lighting, home automation, high voltage, low voltage, data fire alarm, a video distribution surveillance system, POE, phone systems, and more. Contact project manager Norman at 561-693-7227 or Lloyd at 561-541-1185. That's White Eagle Electric Inc., guys. And if you're looking for electricians to hang a chandelier, right? Or if you're looking for electricians to hang a ceiling fan or anything like that, if you're looking for an electrician to run wires through your walls,
Oh, no,
or anything of that sort, guys, definitely contact White Eagle Electric Inc. They will get you right, all right? Also, our next sponsor is the Lauderdale Citizens Association. They did a really good family event back in August with a lot of performances and a lot of food. The food ticket was only $1,500 or something like that. You could get fish, fried fish, chicken, all kind of stuff. It was very good. It was a success. There were performances by the likes of Rooksy, T. Butler, Darren, Hiram's, Access, and many more, including Lyrical Nado as well, and many more. I think they have a new event that they're planning in December, in the Christmas period. Not quite sure what the date is yet, but if you watch this live continuously, you will get the date and all the information of the new event. All right, so it's the Lauderdale Citizens Association. All right, guys. Also, you can find them on Facebook. You can search Lauderdale Citizens Association if you would like to donate or be a part of that organization. It's for a good cause, guys. All right. Okay, so our next sponsor is Island Buzz Restaurant for great tasting Jamaican food in Delray Beach. Island Buzz Restaurant, they're located at 1701 West Atlantic Avenue. That's in Delray Beach. The phone number is 561-634-5980. Their email is islandbuzzjg@gmail.com. Website is Island Buzz Caribbean Cuisine. The Instagram is island_buzz_jg, right? And their Facebook account is Island Buzz. You can search them Island Buzz, guys. They have lunch specials for $9, only $9, guys, with your choice of brown stew chicken, jerk chicken, or curry chicken with a side of rice and peas and a canned soda, guys. You can't beat it. They have a lot of drinks, such as fruit drinks, fresh natural juices. They have great salads, jerk chicken salad, grilled chicken salad, shrimp, a lot of seafood, escovitch fish, steamed fish, curry shrimp, brown stew fish. As a matter of fact, guys, if you guys never had curry crab before, let me tell you something. I just made some curry crab a while ago, and I can't wait till this live done if go bust it down. Understand? Yeah, haven't had crab in a while, so I'm excited to try that out. But not to stray from that, guys, they have appetizers, barbecue wings with fries, fried wings with fries, jerk wings with fries, spicy wings with fries, chicken Caesar wrap, jerk chicken wrap, chicken tenders, with fries as well for the kiddies. You know, they're very picky with how they eat. All right. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the live. Well, let's get into the topic, that is. All right. So the evolution of tipping culture. Why to-go order tips are leaving consumers unhappy, guys, right? So here's the introduction. Tipping has long been a contentious issue in the service industry, with debates centered around who should be tipped, how much, and when. In recent years, a new tipping culture has emerged, one that has left consumers feeling frustrated and in some cases even exploited. This shift in tipping practices is most noticeable in the context of to-go orders, where consumers are increasingly prompted to leave tips, right? In this article or in this live, we will explore the evolution of tipping culture and delve into why consumers are upset with this change, all right? The origins of tipping culture. Tipping as a practice has deep historical roots. It is believed to have originated in Europe during the 17th century as a way of aristocrats to show their appreciation for exceptional service. Over time, tipping became customary in various services industries, including restaurants, hotels, and transportation. Tipping in the United States gained widespread popularity during the early 20th century, where employers began paying lower wages to tipped employees, assuming that tips would make up the difference. The practice has persisted to the present day, with most service workers in the United States earning a minimum wage below the federal minimum wage due to the expectation of receiving tips. The modern tipping landscape in recent years, guys. Modern tipping landscape. In recent years, tipping culture has undergone significant changes. One of the most notable shifts has been the expansion of tipping beyond traditional service roles, from rideshare apps to coffee shops and food delivery services. Tipping prompts have become commonplace in everyday transactions, while tipping was once seen as a reward for exceptional service. It is now expected as a standard part of many transactions, guys. One area where new tipping culture has caused concern among consumers is to-go orders. In the past, tipping for takeout was optional and generally reserved for situations where customers felt they had received above average service, such as when staff went out of their way to accommodate special requests or provided exceptional packaging. However, today many restaurants and food delivery apps present customers with tipping prompts for to-go orders, often suggesting a specific percentage or dollar amount. Yes, guys. So that's what I was referring to earlier. When you're paying for your food, as you can see on the screen right here, you notice this is after you swipe your card or you insert your card or tap your card. Before you can check out, the next thing that they say is add a tip. And then you literally have to skip past 15%. Guys, 15% for to-go orders, 20% and 25% for to-go orders, and skip past custom tip, go all the way down to no tip. And this is the only thing on the screen. So my suggestion would be that, for customers to feel better, why don't you remove this thing, put the tip option in the corner somewhere here, and let somebody that's feeling generous go out of their way to tip, right? Instead of being forced to tip. And now you're looking this person in their face and having to hit no tip. Now, when that happens, I'm looking this person in the face, I'm hitting no tip. I'm honestly, guys, I'm a little bit skeptic. If my food is gonna come out in the right order compared to somebody that left a 15, 20, or 25% tip, guys. And that's why I'm a little bit concerned, right? Or one of the reasons. Why customers are upset. Pressure to tip. Consumers are increasingly feeling pressure to leave tips for to-go orders, even when they believe that the service provided does not warrant it. The presence of tipping prompts can create an uncomfortable and guilt-inducing experience for customers or consumers. And that's what I just said. They're guilting you into tipping, right? And guys, let me just make this clear. This isn't the worker's fault, This is more so the fault of the business owner. Because if they had paid these workers or compensated them properly, right, then they wouldn't have to try to seek tips. You know, I would much rather they put the price of paying the salaries of these workers into the food, and then I know, okay, that's the price of the food. But I don't want to have to be forced to tip because you're not paying workers enough, you know. Unclear distribution. In some cases, consumers are unsure about how their tips are distributed. When tipping through apps or electronic payment systems, there is often a lack of transparency regarding whether the tip goes directly to the service staff or if it is shared with the business. That is true, because the only person that's seeing that tip go through is the person that's the cashier, right? And apparently the tip is supposed to be split between whoever in the restaurant, the cooks and everybody. But how do we know that that money is being shared equitably? You know, I'm not sure. You know, how do we know? Because only the cashier or the accountant or the owner, which is usually the accountant in these small businesses, would know, you know. Why customers are upset. High costs. With the rise in delivery and takeout orders, the cumulative cost of tipping for each transaction can add up significantly over time. This can place an additional financial burden on consumers, especially when tipping is no longer seen as a discretionary expense. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this screen right here. This appears to be the DoorDash or screen, right? So let's say you order something that comes up to $27, guys. The delivery fee is probably about $4.99, depending on how far you are or what restaurant you're delivering from, that sort of thing, right? But then you have to pay a service fee for $4.13, right? Right? The service fee goes to DoorDash, right? And then you also have to pay tax, which is $1.65, right? And then you still have to tip the dasher, you know. And here's the thing: the person that's the dasher, I think they deserve a tip because they're driving their cars and they're not paid very well. They're driving their cars to go all about burning their gas. We're not putting wear and tear on their cars, right? To deliver this food. They don't get paid to pick up the food. They only get paid to deliver the food. So they're driving, part of the time they're driving without being paid. And then when they drop off the food at your house, right, or wherever you are, they got to still drive back to somewhere where they can get another order to deliver. So they're doing all this driving and not getting paid for it. They deserve to get a tip. I don't have any problem with that. But look at all these fees that you have to pay and taxes before you even give the dasher a tip. And before you know it, a $27 order is $46. It's almost twice the amount. So, you know, it's crazy, you know. Unequal wages. The reliance on tips to supplement low wages in the service industry remains a contentious issue. Consumers may be frustrated that they are essentially subsidizing employee wages instead of employers paying fair compensation. Like I said earlier before, guys, why should we be subsidizing this thing? They should just price it in the food and just let that be it, you know, and pay these people fairly so that a person working at a restaurant can earn an honest bread and they don't think that they have to do anything extra or unscrupulous because they're trying to get a tip. Because a lot of times people will, you know, literally ask you for a tip. I've seen that before where people literally ask you for a tip, which I think it's kind of rude that you're asking people for a tip, but I kind of understand on that side to where you know, some people don't tip at all for even things that they're supposed to tip for. You know, I used to do a moving job, you know, back in the day, and one thing I used to hate was when people don't tip me, you know, because that's heavy, hard lifting work, you know, and the salary that we're paid, it isn't worth it. Now, if they're you know, we get a salary, we get an hourly wage, they don't have to tip us. But in good conscience, you would think that they would tip you for such hard work like that. You know what I mean? Because moving is not an easy job, you know? All right. So conclusion, the evolving tipping culture, especially as it pertains to to-go orders, has left many consumers feeling dissatisfied and concerned. While tipping can be a meaningful way to reward exceptional service, the pressure to tip in situations where it feels unwarranted and the lack of transparency in tip distribution have contributed to consumer frustration. Addressing these issues may require a re-evaluation of tipping practices and a shift towards more equitable compensation for service workers, ultimately creating a tipping culture that is fair and transparent for all parties involved. All right, so here are the questions, guys, the topic questions. Do you tip on to-go orders? Do you do that? Do you feel more compelled or guilted to tip on to-go orders when prompted on card machine, right? Should restaurant employees serving to-go orders get tips for only placing order requests, right? What service industries do you believe should get tips, right? Would you rather your average tip amount priced into the meal so the workers can be paid more? Have you ever tipped over 40% on a meal, and what made you do it? So guys, those are the questions. But before I get into the first call, guys, I want to play this video because I think this video is actually very, very important, right? To basically nail down the intention of the topic. All right, so I'm gonna play this video, and so you guys know I'm not overreacting, guys, about this whole tipping thing. This is a video from CNBC, and it's a real issue. All right, so here we go.
When was the last time you purchased something and you weren't asked for a tip? Yeah, I can't remember either.
Tipping culture has gotten out of control. I get up to the pay window and she's like, how much do you want to tip? What am I going to tip you for? I'm in the drive-thru. Oh my God.
Tips have been on the rise for decades.
Guys, you hear that? No, sir. I can't believe it. She said, what I'm going to tip you for? I'm in the drive-thru. Guys, what's that? This is how things get out of hand. You know, people get an inch and then they take a yard. But I'm not going to say too much. Go ahead.
During the 1950s, people commonly tipped 10% of the bill. By the 1970s and 1980s, that jumped to 15%. Today, people tip anywhere from 15 to 25%. According to one 2022 survey, consumers said they tipped more than 21% on average.
Nowadays, there are people who argue 20% is kind of a cheap tip.
While the percentage that consumers are tipping at full-service restaurants in the past couple of years has remained about the same, in the fourth quarter of 2022, the number of tips provided at full-service restaurants grew 17%. Meanwhile, the tip frequency at quick-service restaurants such as coffee shops and fast food chains rose 16% during the same time period.
What we're seeing now nationwide is something that is known as tipflation. At every opportunity, we're being presented with a tablet that's asking us how much we'd like to tip.
In many cases, not only replacing the old-fashioned tip jars that you can feel good about throwing some spare change into, but actually suggesting tip amounts, often right in front of the employee receiving that tip. Not to mention also your dinner date and the dozen or so people standing behind you in line.
And it's gone beyond just the tablets. The other day I was using the Hopper app to book a hotel, and it wasn't until I confirmed my payment that I realized my hotel was $10 more expensive. It turns out, Hopper assumed I wanted to add a tip, and I had to go back to a prior page in order to opt out.
That's crazy. That is crazy, guys.
Tipflation refers to not just that we're tipping more, but we're tipping everyone for everything.
You're being guilted into tipping on something that is not technically a service. Someone's simply doing their job. In those situations, consumers are feeling resentful. Where do you draw the line?
TIP stands for to ensure promptness. Tipping may go back as far as the Roman era, but according to most experts, the practice likely has its origins in medieval Europe.
Noblemen taking passage on roads would throw coins to the rubble to ensure safe passage. One theory is that it evolved in eating and drinking establishments as a way to forestall envy, that when you're eating and drinking, you're having fun, and the people who are serving you are not.
Fast forward to the 19th century, when waiters who received a full wage went on strike demanding higher wages, they were replaced with women who employers could pay less. A decade later, there was the population of newly freed slaves. The idea from these restaurant owners was that they were giving the luxury or privilege of a white person's tips. That was, without a full wage.
Ironically, as tipping exploded in the United States, it became less common in Europe and was replaced with service charges.
While the first federal minimum wage law was passed in 1938, it wasn't until almost 3 decades later when the tip minimum...
So guys, you heard there said in England or Europe, tipping was replaced with service charges. And if you are, if you live in Jamaica or you've ever been to Jamaica, Jamaica follows that service charge trend from my understanding as well, to where, yes, it is a service charge that they call it. So from my understanding, you don't pay for a tip, but there's always a service charge that's auto added to your meals whenever you go to restaurants in Jamaica. And then if you feel the need to tip more, which is give that server more money or that group of people more money, it's really on you, but it's already baked in. The service charge is already baked in.
Minimum wage was established. In 1991, the federal minimum wage for tipped employees was set at $2.13, which is what it remains at as of March 2023.
As far as I know, the United States is the only country that exempts tipped workers from having to receive the full minimum wage.
In 43 states, it is legal to pay tipped workers less than the standard minimum wage, because tips presumably make up that difference.
In recent years, you might have found yourself asking, do I tip this barista for pouring that hot coffee? What about when I'm going to a restaurant and picking up takeout? And how much do I tip that doorman, driver, or dog walker?
When those in the service industry were feeling the brunt during the coronavirus pandemic, consumers started tipping for things they never had before. And the percentage of remote transactions when tipping was an option in which the consumer tipped soared from about 46% before the pandemic to around 86% in January 2022. If people were willing to tip the person delivering food to their home 30%, why not ask if they'd like to tip when they come pick up?
During the pandemic, businesses who lost a lot of traditional customers and transactions were looking for alternative ways to make up that income. And if asking for tips was one way to do it, they were willing to try it.
And since then, that ask hasn't dissipated. Another reason consumers say they feel pressured to tip more? They're being asked to tip prior to service completion.
Asking for a tip beforehand is almost like a bribe, right? I'm afraid not to tip because, well, you do less good work.
Customers might not be concerned about the barista's perception of their tip before getting their latte, but what about the mechanic repairing your car? I don't know about you, but I'm certainly going to make sure to tip them well to ensure my safety.
Alright guys, that's a free ad. Obviously I'm not connected to my paid YouTube subscription. Sorry about that. Give me a second. They just got a free ad out of me. It's all good.
Another reason consumers are tipping more? Newer technologies. Kiosks and tablets with 3 large tipping suggestions that pop up on the screen in front of you. 3 options, chosen by the business.
I have not yet been to the restaurant where they recommend 5, 10, or 15% for quick takeout. It normally always starts at 15 as a bare minimum.
Guys, so you see what he's saying. If you were looking at the slide earlier, you noticed that you could notice that the picture on the slide said 15%, 20%, and 25%. So they started at 15%. You know what I mean? And this is just a to-go order. Like, why do you need to pay 15% tip for a to-go order, even if you're tipping? Because you really shouldn't have to tip. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. But go ahead, sir.
Sometimes even starting at 20, 25, and up to 30.
Wow.
According to a 2022 creditcards.com survey, 22% of respondents said when they're presented with various suggested tip amounts, they feel pressured to tip more than they normally would.
They use those options as an indication of kind of what the normative range is and feel compelled to tip within that range. So the more you ask, the more you get.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So if you don't know what the tipping range is and what the okay amount to tip is, right? And they make a suggestion, you're gonna go off the suggestion, right? And the suggestion is ridiculous, like 15%, the very least on a to-go order when you shouldn't even be tipping, is basically a win for them. You know, if you go and you order, let's say $100 worth of food, right? Which is good enough, like ordering $100 worth of food to go. That you're already spending $100 with them in revenue. You know, that's some restaurants. They, small restaurants, they only bring in like $1,000, $2,000 in revenue. Per day. So you go and you order $100 worth of food. That's $100 worth of revenue. If it's $2,000 they bring in on average, then your one order alone is about 5% of their revenue that they're gonna make for the day. So if they only need 90 more people to order the same amount that you order, and they already made their quota for the day, basically.
The three prominent companies with that trendy, sleek look are Square, Toast, and Clover. They launched a bit more than a decade ago.
Yeah, but I was saying that you order $100 worth of food, right, to go, and you're paying 15%, then you're paying $15 in tips for them just to cook your food and give it to you.
To help businesses run smarter, faster, and easier, all in one point of sale or POS systems. In some cases, fewer fees so it's less of a burden to accept multiple credit cards, no long-term contracts, and multiple other useful tools including inventory and employee management.
They got credit card processing into the hands of individuals and very small merchants. Square did a great job. It's been a tremendous growth story. That's half of the business today.
Do you think these companies are responsible for this turn of events that we've seen with tipping?
I would say they could take some of the credit for helping restaurants gather more tips.
Robert Sanchez manages Eli's Essentials in New York City. One of the business's locations uses Toast, while the other uses this. He says the storefront that uses Toast sees more and higher tips.
The Clover, Square, and Toast terminals to a consumer are very easy to use. Big buttons, big areas to sign the tip, an easy way to tip a different amount if you don't like the starting at 20% option. There are others that do it, they're just not as cool looking.
We've come a long way from being able to just throw your spare change into the jar by the cash register.
The new tablets have turned what used to be a sin of omission, I simply didn't put money into the tip jar, into a sin of commission. I have to hit a button and say no tip. I have to actively choose not to tip.
Exactly.
Whereas before, not tipping was a kind of a passive thing.
Glancing at the tip jar could have also been a way to get a sense of how many others are tipping on that service and maybe even how much money. Meanwhile, not only can the tipping options be customized, but the tipping feature can be disabled as well. So, it's the merchant's choice to ask or not to ask for tips.
From the business side, it makes employees want to perform better and do a better job.
It's seriously significant. It really pays for the software. You'd be a foolish business owner not to install it based on what the numbers display. Even a mammoth company as large as Starbucks has decided that they need to sink or swim, and the best way for them to do that is to offer the tip stream.
Starbucks rolled out the tipping feature in stores in September 2022.
It's one thing to have a happy staff. It's another thing to have customers that are feeling resentful. I think it's a calculus that all business owners really need to make.
Do you think that they're somewhat going to start seeing that they're getting lower tips because people are paying tips to so many services, or they're resentful of the act of tipping in general?
I think that's a very real danger of servers in a sit-down restaurant. They were greatly affected during and immediately post-pandemic by restaurants doing all sorts of fees. Their tips were actually going down because consumers were saying, well, if I'm paying for the health insurance and I'm paying for inflation and I'm paying for this and I'm paying for that, enough is enough. The more you levy these line items onto consumers, guess who's being penalized? It's the one area that's still quasi-discretionary, which is the tip.
I went door to door talking with waitresses, bartenders, and baristas, and while they wanted to remain anonymous, they told me it's happening already. With inflation and being prompted for tips left and right, they say customers have already started to tip less and sometimes not at all.
And this is what I'm talking about. People are wising up. People are wising up.
22 study found that 17% of Americans are tipping less because of inflation. However, 10% report tipping more. At the same time, more than half of Americans, or 60%, want to do away with tipping entirely. The extent of pandemic-influenced generosity has also gone down. 43% of consumers typically tipped servers 20% or more in 2022, compared to 56% of consumers in 2021. Meanwhile, the average tip for full-service restaurants has gone down only slightly during the same time period. According to Toast, 19.6% in the fourth quarter of 2022, compared to 19.8% in 2021. However, according to surveys conducted in those same years, respondents said they're tipping higher percentages, 21.2% and 18.9% respectively.
It can genuinely hurt the people who truly rely on gratuities for their livelihood. I firmly believe that the tipping invasion we are experiencing right now, I think it's a net negative for society.
And with that tablet at just about every counter, no matter where you go, the question is, where's the tipping point? I'm wondering how long before I'm tipping my doctor after an annual physical.
If you want to seem especially generous after an exceptional meal, you might decide to go big and tip 30%. But it's a cycle. As more people seeking to make a good impression then up their tips to 30%, maybe even 35%, what becomes a generous tip?
I have to believe tips are going to go up from where they are today. But I also think there's got to be a logical ceiling somewhere. I just don't know where it is.
All right, guys. So you see what I'm talking about? Guys? Yeah, we gotta fix it. Not sure what's going on, but people are getting pissed off. But anyways, we have a special guest for you guys on the call right now, and I'm gonna bring up that person in 2 seconds. All right, so. Chin, you can unmute yourself right now.
First of all, live.
Hold on. They can't see you yet. Hold on. They can say something?
French fried chicken.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. They can't see you yet. Hold on. Let me set up the video. Hold on. 1 sec. Okay, that's why. So I don't want the chat. I want meets. Bear with me. Okay, there we go. All right, people. Welcome, French fry.
Yeah, you know. Mad. Hey, you first when you send me the topic, so that talk about tipping. First thing will come to my mind. They have a thing over there then called fly tipping, where dash rubbish at people get.
What?
And that first come to my mind.
That just sounds European.
Yeah. But I mean, it's an interesting topic you bring up because it's never even one way really think about myself, because you don't know from high school man I'm miser and you don't really enjoy this tipping thing. But every now and again, very occasional, it's a rare feature where when you find me I really tip somebody most exceptional.
Yeah.
know them service or whatever them do. Yeah,
Yeah.
but here's a funny one though, me give you one. So me live here for a couple of years well now and me can't find a barber where cut me hair properly. Zin. So
And this is for the people that don't know
so
the
me live in
country.
England, yeah,
Right, right,
but me not like London, me not live in a London, and London have way more black communities than where me live.
right.
So me live south of England,
Yeah.
and you know really have them black barbers here. That so you don't really have much of a choice. You're lucky when you do find a black barber or somebody who can cut black people here. Anyways, me find this youth just by coincidence. Can't even remember how me find him, but me just find him. And oh yeah, my wife tell me about him.
Yeah.
I'm go down there and the man sort out my hairline. I mean I said, blur's not, yo, thing proper. And usually, we pay like £12 for cut me hair. And me did so excited. In charge me £20 and me tip him £5 on top of it.
Right, 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 right.
Then, but he quick, he put me in our one spot now where like the next time you're like, I'm gonna tip him again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me start guilt trip myself. So a couple time well me end up a tip him £5 and £5 enough for a tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and two or three times me do the same thing until summer. I remember when it happened. I never have no change or nothing, and man I said, no man, that good. And he
Yeah.
tell me that one time, he never get a next tip from me. Yeah. But with them have a different thing over here, more them want you to donate to charity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see like when you go like McDonald's or a certain fast food place, when you're ready to pay for your meal, them say you have to donate X amount to charity. That easier for me say no to than tip.
I don't usually do that whenever I'm donating to charity. I usually like to look up my own charity and donate. You know why? Because here's the thing. Coming from the financial world, I know that there's a lot of charities out there that when you look at how their revenues are spent, they're spending 90% of their revenues on overheads, such as paying employees and all kind of bull crap, and then 10% alone of the revenues going to the actual purpose of the charity. So I'm very skeptical before I put my money into certain charity. I like to see this charity's books before I put my money in there, because I like to see where they're allocating those funds for me to feel comfortable to donate to them. So, and you can't do that in a shopping in a line shopping grocery store line or anything like that. You don't have time to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, me get what you're saying. But because me not really interested in some of these charity cause me not trust them in
Right.
most part. You know. Me me way more comfortable as saying no to charities than tipping some people. But I mean my wife have more experience and have more of an input in terms of tipping. She where they are listening and she a talk about when
She
she
can't
used to
talk,
work
man.
in the restaurant. She there, man. She a
Yeah, she
listen,
can't talk,
but
man, if she want.
she not tell me when she dep on the front line and people them leave tip or whatnot. Certain expectation. You have a big table. You have there's a service charge for a certain amount of people at a table. That are just common courtesy. That
Right.
So yeah, them things that me agree with. And I'm more than happy if you put a contribution towards the service charge.
Right. Of course.
Yeah. And you have another case where I think you mentioned this in the video, or the video mentioned it, when the tip get um collated, the boss man where did take part of the tip where it tip meant for the workers them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and it happens a
Mm.
lot, you know. It happens a lot where the boss man don't tip the worker, don't get share the tip to the workers, and take it for himself.
Mm. Yeah. So yeah, dirty boy used to take him money, man. You know, a dog. But yeah, anyways, that's just one of the things that um where evolve, and people take advantage of the because really and truly, this thing is a gesture, you know,
Yeah.
and the fact that the government are running upon it too. You know what I mean? Like like really, why the hell the government are running upon taxing people tip? You know what I mean? What? Why? Me have to really ask why? Because how much somebody are gonna tip somebody based on for anything at all? What biggest tip you would I say? Maybe 100 US, 100 pound at most.
But some people still not change. Some people, they're like, it's particularly here in the United States. You know, a lot of people that do waiter and waitress work or server work, their salary, or their hourly wages maybe like $5 an hour. That's, which, $5 an hour, that is nothing. But they, they're in the waitress or waiter in business, so they're expected to get tips. So a lot of the times, depending on what restaurant you're working for, your tip could be 3-4 times per hour, 5 times, 6 times per hour more what your early wages if you do the math. You understand? So if somebody let's say works for 5 hours, 8 hours at the restaurant for $5 an hour, right? That's what 5, 8, 40. That person could probably easily leave the restaurant with like $300 in tip, which is way more than the $40. So that's what the government is concerned about, because they know that there's people make money in certain type of restaurants in that industry, so they want to tax it. And then there's a part of it that they can't tax, because a lot of people intentionally tip it in cash because they know that the government is gonna tax it.
Yeah, and another type part of why them a try bring cash to a halt, or the exchange of cash for services or goods to a halt. So them have more visibility of what people spending money on.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so all of these things are for give the government data. You know what I mean? So like she mentioned, um, how COVID impact the everything but the tipping culture too, because
Yes.
the exchange of money from hand to hand frowned upon. Some ways our people want run go sanitize the money and all of them back foot sitting there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all of them things are play in hand to help the change the outlook of people at tip. But for me, I would have much rather have the cash in my hand. And here's the next thing to like some places where you go, um, and you want to tip the person where I serve them, like no, them can't accept it because management say no, and them,
Really?
yeah, management frown upon it and blah. But me I say yo, but me really um yeah, we go we have this place where they make some sweet smelling something where you put in your bath. So my daughter like them thing there.
Yeah.
And we go into the store, and the lady take my daughter and carry her around the store and try on all kind of product upon her and something. And me did appreciate it. So me did want to leave her a tip. And she said, no, no, we can't accept it. But what she did ask is if me go up on the website and just leave a review and mention her name, blah, blah, blah. So we do that. But it did surprise me that she can't accept a tip, because that's the policy with them having at the
Same with every
workplace.
business. Your business, no supplier can give you anything. Like they can't. It's like bribery in something law. I know.
Or apparently he considered
It
bribery.
considered bribery.
Yeah. But
Because
they can bribe me all they want. 'Cause
well, you would be doing the bribing.
eh?
You would be the one doing the bribing in
No man, any service with me offer, anybody want bribe me. Feel free.
Okay. So, but let me ask you a question, Chin, because I'm not sure how much it's affecting the UK. I know it must be affecting the UK to an extent, but I'm not sure if it's the same extent as it is in the United States.
Taxable.
Right, because we don't have we have restaurants that do service charge, but most of our restaurants they don't do a service charge. It's just the price of the food and the tax, and then if you want to tip, that's on you. So let me ask you this, Chin. When you order food to go, right? You take a to go order. Do you normally tip when you're taking a to go order?
No sir. I'll when it I'll when I have it I'll when I have it to stay. When I even want
We pay delivery.
yeah, the, when the Uber Eats man
My God!
say I have me address, he must
My
vex.
God!
He knows that he not even a see me. He might knock me door and he might go left it on my porch.
But it's normally cold.
And gone. And he lucky to even a report say me not get it. So
Oh my god. Alright. So alright. Do you get like
Most London restaurants have a service charge. It's compulsory service charge.
so Cat just tell me most London restaurants carry a service charge.
even on to go orders?
So me no know, me never order not like takeout from me to London.
So
Yeah.
alright, when you order wherever you live at, right? When you're ordering to go orders, do you see that the prompt that I presented in the slide and
Yeah,
that
little man on a
do you
Well,
are
yeah,
you normally presented
little man
that
on a
prompt?
cycle and it says tip and we're like, no.
we on the Uber Eats app or we have a next thing we then called Deliveroo.
Yeah.
So them app it prompt you for tip. Yeah.
But
And McDonald's.
you guys don't like order to go like actually drive to the restaurant and then pay for it there. Like
What you mean like drive through and then something?
yeah, like drive through or if you guys drive to the restaurant like order it ahead of time and then pick it up and then you're gonna pay when you pick it up.
What we do me do drive through. Me never really did like the other way you talk. But drive through what they have is the charity more so. They pop up for the donate towards charity. So and not necessarily for tip, but of a donation towards charity. I guess that's so different. Yeah, but me so comfortable with skip past all of them sitting there like it just become second nature. I mean even notice if them ask. Yeah.
So all right, let me ask you this because you brought up the point that you were in a retail store and you were so pleased with the service that you got that you wanted to tip somebody in that the person that helped you in that retail store, right? So what service industries do you believe should get tips?
It hard. Well, me not think it's fair for narrow it down to any type of industry, right? It all come down to expectations, and if you're going if you're going on an arrangement or you're going a business transaction with somebody or an entity and them deliver on your expectations or surpass your expectations, and tipping really should be um a voluntary thing, like no real guidelines as to why you should tip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my opinion, that it up to the customer if them feel like say, all right,
I tip sometimes. Beauty salon.
yeah,
Yeah.
she
The
probably
sa-
left for a meal tip then.
But salon, like when you go and get your hair done or you get a pedicure or
Yeah.
manicure,
Yeah.
I think things like that, just normally in nature, people will tip, because a lot of the times, like getting your hair done, getting your nails done and stuff like that, it can be very like simple, you know what I mean? But then when people go above and beyond, they take more time
I
than
do.
normal to or let's say they finish and they're like, oh yeah, I don't like how this look, and they spend that extra time and touch up it and stuff like that, and you know what I mean. I think like
That's the fact.
for that reason, I could see somebody getting tipped for that, because that's showing that that person actually care. You don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't think you should have to, but if you're pleased with that service, then by any means, I think it's okay
Personal.
to
Yeah.
tip them.
Yeah, for me, it's all about the experience.
Yes, that's
For
the
like,
key word:
all right,
experience.
here's the thing for me, I may be honest, whether or not anybody else are going to agree with it. You see, restaurants, me not generally feel like me need for tip at a restaurant, because me feel like the basic requirement for people who provide a service or a product at a restaurant, you need to be polite.
Right.
You need to be, the food need to be good. That's the whole reason you're there. You know what I mean? Me should not compliment you because you have good manners. You know what I mean? Or you attend to us like you should. Or the food good. However, if something happen and you cater to my needs in a one way that me know no normal,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Then we might feel obligated for tip the whoever provided that service, you know, or just express my gratitude in a one more tangible kind of way. So
So what about like, let's say you have some type of home warranty or something like that, right? Where you pay like a annual fee or a monthly fee for if something break down in your house, like stove or anything like that, fridge or whatever it is. They'll send a serviceman out there to come, and our service woman to come and fix the problem or whatever it is, right? Let's say something break down in your house and they come and they fix the problem, right? It's not no exchange of money or anything like that. It's just a service that you pay for a monthly basis or something like that. If you're very pleased with that person, should you feel obligated to tip, or should you be like, yeah, well, thank you for doing a good job, goodbye?
well,
Because
very
they're
very
getting
often, very often we have people who come here for do like come on my house for do certain type of services, whether it be certain type of checks or um we employ some people for do whatever around the house or the yard, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it really depends, like, on my expectations, as me say. And it might be that me go, it don't necessarily have to be money. Me can be that me offer them something to eat, which me not have to. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, just cool, man.
The Lord said, You
Like,
must
all right,
eat and be
well,
satisfied.
we have this big old flowers that they did in the garden for a while, and me couldn't bother to be the one to dig up that and sitting. So me employ somebody to come and do it, and them do a good job. And what we do, him come with him son, and him and him son dig up the big old flowers and put in our van and go away. And when me look around there and me say, yo, man deal with the thing good, man. We just buy them some biscuit and thing and give them some tea and you know and make sure they feel good. We never have to do that.
Isn't that the
Yeah.
most British thing you guys ever heard? You know what I mean? Buy them some
Yeah.
biscuit and give them some tea.
Well, yeah. We never have to do none of
That's
them
just
sitting there.
kindness, like.
Yes, but what may I say? But tipping is kindness,
Yeah, I know,
right?
but
And
the
yeah, show you.
reason why you would tip like beauty salon people and restaurant people is because they're on minimum wage. They're on the lowest wage bracket.
But that nah nothing to do with
It
me.
doesn't matter, it's personal. They go out their way, they get their food on time, they get your order done, they get their drinks, and they're
All right.
attentive.
So that's exactly what me I say is the minimum expectation when you go to one restaurant is that the food are gonna come out in a reasonable time,
Yeah.
right?
Drinks.
Me should need to tip you if my food come out reasonable time. It's supposed to. The food supposed to taste good. Zane,
Yeah.
we agree. The food come out in a reasonable time. The food tastes good, and at least the waiters them don't necessarily have to be friendly, but they have to have good manners,
Right.
right? Me wrong? You know that the kind of expectation.
No, definitely, definitely. There's
Yeah.
obedience is a good, not obedience, but manners is a important thing, you know. And I like what Catherine said about being attentive, because a lot of the times I go to restaurants sometimes and
Yeah,
they're not
Jamaica.
attentive, either because they're just not doing a good job, or they have way more people that they're serving than they should have, you know, so they can't be as attentive.
Yeah, but like some of them things are circumstantial though, you know.
Like
What may I
Linstead
say, but
KFC.
like
They're rude,
what may I
man.
say is if we
Linstead
can
KFC.
Linstead KFC, they're rude.
They think
Jamaica
that KFC is
customer
so good that
service.
they can do anything, though.
Mm-mm.
Jamaican customer service never go to the same school, so
Yeah.
yeah, just so that work out. But I mean, is no real guidebook to how or who or what you're supposed to provide a tip for.
Yeah.
But you can tell, you can tell whatever circumstance arise. Say you in a one pack restaurant and this person go to them way to make sure that you, what you get as a service or product um where meet expectation. You appreciate them little details there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it really come down to if the basic requirements met or surpassed.
Yeah.
It have to at least met. You have to at least meet my basic requirements, which if we are be specific to the food industry, the food have to come out in a reasonable time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If it not come out in a reasonable time, somebody did have to provide an explanation and give me an update, because me no want to know that all right, my food I go be an hour or half an hour late. Somebody if come out and tell me, oh, X and X happening in the kitchen. Um, but guess what? Your food will be out in 15 minutes, or we'll do this for you, blah, blah, blah. All right. We go in a one restaurant already, Zane, and we order some food, and we find one woman here in it.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
Zane. So the people them who come there, and them like, oh no, we're so sorry, and whatnot. But it may, yeah, it kind of gross to tell you the truth.
Ugh.
But
What is it?
me, we got long time, harvester.
And a metal thing.
Yeah, but anyway, so we did them try to calm them down, because we're not gonna really try make no big deal about that, and most people use them thing there for try and get money off on them thing there, you know. And but the way them handle it, you know what I mean, me did not say impress, but me did impress the way them handle it. Them very quick for refund me for the meal, and them provide a very very quick apology, and
Yeah.
Um, make sure that it won't happen again, blah blah blah. Give our next scenario. We go on a restaurant, go eat, and the little basket where them put the fries them in.
Yeah.
So a part of that basket did break off in a meal. So a piece of metal drop in my fries them.
Eh.
See? And while me I eat, me see it. Me never actually eat it. Me see it. So me show them and me say, listen. So for me, see most people do them thing they for try and get money off of their meal. Me
Yeah.
never really have that intention. Me just want to make them aware that somebody else na get piece of metal in their meal. And
That could have been really bad. Imagine if you ate that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, yeah, I mean, yeah. So that's just my thinking. But the way them handle it, me did feel good in the way them handle it. They met them chef aware. Them tell me that them are go discard of the thing. Um, and yeah, so me appreciate them thing there. Me never tip them though, but
Get your money back.
you them surpass my expectation, and it really come down to just how them communicate to me. You know what I mean? So for me, me just use them scenarios to emphasize that the the reason why would show me appreciation, necessarily have nothing to do with the basic requirements, but them circumstantial stuff that arise again and again, how people deal with it, and a certain things, basic requirements are met or surpassed, or them able to communicate in a way, then provide an experience,
Right.
right? So however them do any of those things, um up to them as service providers, and how you want to show your appreciation, that up to you as the customer as well. Whether they want to left them a review, whether they want send them an email. Cause my wife did that too. Like we go get a massage, and she send one really good email to the masseuse manager. You know what I mean? Look at things like that,
Some
and
people
that probably go a better way than a tip.
some people may not know this, but guys, I'm gonna tell you something. This is my talk to everybody now. Guys, a review is the most powerful thing you can leave, if you want to make change, in a service, in for a service that you received that you weren't pleased with, or a product that you received that you were not pleased with. Reviews are so important. When you leave a certain type of review, the people at the owners, are the people managing the business, they are on their toes whenever they see a review that's not good, because everybody wants to maintain a good image. And one of the main things that people use whenever they need to fight, whenever they want to decide whether they want to do business with these companies, is they look at the review. And that's something I do as well. I'm not sure if you guys do it in a chin, but whenever
Yeah, maybe.
no matter what business I'm looking to do, what restaurant, anything like that, I always look at the review. I always look at the stars that they get, and I look
Yeah.
at what people are saying, and I look at the lowest stars. I love to look at the lowest star to see what it is, why that they gave them a low star. And a lot of the times, the reason why they give them a low star is not for a legitimate reason. It could be just a customer that's disgruntled because they didn't get what they want with something, that they didn't.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So it's good to watch reviews, because it gives a more, I wouldn't say
Good insight.
truthful, but it gives a better insight on, whether you think, whether you would feel comfortable doing business with them or not.
So just for expound upon that. So my company that I work for, I'm work for this energy company, see, and we reviews a few years ago, maybe about 3-4 years ago, did really bad. Like you have I don't know if you use Trustpilot over there, but we use
I'm
this.
aware of it. I'm aware of it.
Yeah, we use this review platform called Trustpilot, and the
Right.
ratings on it was like 2 stars or something like that, 2.5 stars, and that did really hurt the reputation. And the CEO create a whole department that dedicated to customer experience. Zin?
There you go.
And what this department do? People who left terrible reviews, them call him, find out what them problem was, them try to find a resolution where them can, or them start to reply to them as well.
Right.
So people left, like you said, disgruntled customers who left you know reviews, poor reviews,
Right.
but for reasons where the as a service provider you couldn't do anything about.
Right.
Them go on it and provide an explanation. You know what I mean? So people who neutral people who just look for information can say, "Oh, right." So they never actually have nothing to do with this, or them try their best in this scenario. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Reviews is a powerful thing, but
Yeah.
as a reference to tips, um, that could have be one of the alternate methods for leave a tip is for leave a review.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, a review is, to me, it does way more for the business than leaving a tip. Because that's one.
Mm.
A lot of times, people might be people. You'll have a disgruntled customer that still will leave a tip. You know what I mean? And they won't say anything. That when I was going to business school, that's one of the things I learned about customers. The customer that's always complaining is a good customer. You know why? Because at least that customer is telling you what the problem is right there, so you can fix it. You can resolve it right there and make them happy. But you see the customer that don't say nothing at all, and even still leave you a nice tip and walk out quietly as if nothing happened. That's the customer you have to be aware of, because that's the customer that's gonna go and badmouth the business, and
Mm.
leave a poor review for you. You understand?
For real, man. So like some people backstabber them,
But the customer is not wrong. Either customer, they're not wrong for what they're doing. That's just a different approach. Everybody choose to have their own approach. About
Yeah, yeah, me
things.
get where I say. Some people will make you aware on the spot.
Right.
Um, yeah, well, some people not, and it probably come down to personality at the end of the day. If them feel comfortable enough to mention it to your face, or um, because we then call them keyboard warriors, they're more comfortable to write it.
Yeah, it's true. But the thing is, a lot of people would probably feel uncomfortable with a customer like that, because they're confronting them to say, hey, this isn't right, that isn't right in the restaurant. They probably think that, oh my God, this is a problem customer. But actually, that is
Mm.
not a problem customer. That's actually the customer that you want. That's going to tell you, look, the vegetables that you're bringing out, they're stale. What I mean? This is cold. Like, what are you guys doing? That's not a problem customer. That's the customer that's making sure that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, 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 for real. Hey, like we go a restaurant recently, and them carry out some starters and thing, and one of the bread they have John Joe on it. Right? Yeah, it feel like a me alone and sitting there to my youth. You get all kind of dodgy food. And me just call him to the side and me say, yo, we never eat this still now because the bread have John Joe on it. And the man I say, yo, so sorry, we appreciate you. And then come back and then say, yo, just to make we discard all of them. Um and that kind of thing me appreciate, you know what I mean? Just the communication that, them put steps in place for make it right, or for just for correct
Right.
whatever wrongs or fault me find.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, 'cause I mean then some of the things that can happen to anybody. You know what I mean? And it's a place where me did go pretty regularly, and the experience did always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, for sure. Communication is It's very important. It's very important. And I value that as well. You know what I mean? Uh, At the
And
end of the day, people
it's
just want,
underrated too, I
yeah.
think.
People
Me-
just want get treated nice, bro. Even if the food not taste so good, you understand? People just want feel like they're being served, And a lot of the times, Chin, I don't know if you are comfortable with me sharing this because we had like a bad experience at a restaurant before, right?
Oh yeah, with the old miserable girl. Right.
Yeah, and I won't bring up the name of the restaurant because I don't want to um I don't want to ruin their reputation or say anything to
Why not to do the restaurant?
I
Are they
know, but still that person work at the restaurant, so I don't want to, you know what I mean? I really don't want to tie the restaurant to that person because it could just be one bad apple. Because everybody else there treated us really nice, you know what I mean? The guys that were there that got us all the cheers, even though it was a lot unorganized to be quite honest, but at least there was some other people that were trying to fix the situation.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, all right. So, do you recall what happened that day?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we had a fish, and a waiter basically cussed we off because she have to repeat herself a couple times. You know, and we asked for we food there. Hey, how long we wait for food? About 2 hours, no?
Probably, yeah, probably about 2 hours.
Yeah, about 2 hours we did there wait for food. And we ask her if certain things available, the attitude behind the answers them, they very, very uncomfortable. Another me mean by basic expectations. You know what I mean? The basic expectation in that case was okay, late food me can understand because the place might be busy and certain things might be happening in a kitchen where yeah, unforeseen or out of them control. So me could understand. And even in that scenario where we have to wait so long to get we meal, we did there a chat and have a good time anyways. So it wouldn't really mean nothing to me if we'd have to wait 2 hours. If there was an explanation or an update, if you say, okay, your food I will be a little bit late,
Yeah.
um, because it's very busy and we have one chef or something. Whether or not the excuse valid, but the fact that if you can come and you communicate to me, you know what I mean, and just not let me feel like me just in the wilderness.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because we were spending money just like everybody else. In fact, we probably, I mean, there was other groups of people, but we were probably the biggest, if not the second biggest group of people that were there in that time range. So when you look on what we purchased, our order probably brought in way more money than everybody else order.
Yeah, we have a decent group, and everybody
Yeah,
and everybody at the table did we did order pretty decent priced meals. So
exactly.
the total that will come from that table. But I mean, nothing to do with the money that we're spending. If we did that buy one box lunch, or we did that buy a whole congregation or rated food, it's the same level of communication you need to have.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just my whole feeling on it. Like basic expectations, and if and that girl never actually received a tip. You remember?
Yeah,
Because at the end of it, my brother decided that we are going to find the exact money, right? And
yeah.
pay the bill.
But that for people that don't, because people in the United States and certain countries that they don't understand how it works in Jamaica, there is a service charge. So we were already charged the service charge, which goes to her and the rest of the staff. Just to make
Yeah,
that
but
clear.
in that case, right, we're paying cash.
Right.
I was already prepared to hand the waitress something cash in her hand,
On top of the
and
service charge.
yeah, on top of the service charge. I
Right.
mean, know you did prepare for do it, and my brother did prepare for do it,
Absolutely.
right? But because of just the experience, oh, we ended up a laugh about it though, because it was so surreal that yeah,
Yeah.
like maybe is not yo, this thing just yeah,
Exactly.
they get on a normal, you know
it,
what I mean?
it's like in my mind I'm like, oh my god, this girl is stupid. Like she's like she doesn't understand how far she can get in this in this or how much money she can make if she just has a nice attitude. Like she doesn't understand how far she can get just in that job alone. She could probably make crazy money if she all she has to do
Yeah,
is have a nice attitude. Because when I look at it like this, right, the type of people that come to that restaurant chain is the type of people that go to a regular restaurant, whether in the UK or the United States. You know, a lot of those people are locals, but a lot of those people are foreigners. And both local and foreigners, they spend a lot of money and they tip generously. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So my thing is that as much money that a person in the UK or in the United States can make in a regular restaurant, she can make just that same amount of money because it's that type of restaurant. It's not just like a little shack down the street. It's actually a restaurant to where the food is priced to a certain level to where when you say, all right, this is the markup and here's the tip, she can go away with like 200-300 US dollars a day
yeah.
if she's just nice. Can you imagine somebody going away with 200-300 US dollars in one night and they live in Jamaica where cost of living is less? Come on, man.
So you ever feel pressured for leave tip because me can tell you straight up, me not really care, you know. Me 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 not have me not have no problem. I click no, you know, when they when they give
Look,
me little credit cards
look,
and
I click no a lot of times, but sometimes if I feel generous, sometimes I will, I won't do the 15, 20 or 25%, but sometimes I'll say here custom tip, here's $1. You understand? Or something like that. Sometimes if I feel generous, I'll do something like that. But most times I try to stop myself
dollar.
yeah, like $1.
What if me too generous?
So
Because
but some depends on what you buy because sometimes $1 is actually more than 20% or 15% because it depends on what you're ordering.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it all
If you
depends on
spend
what you're
like
ordering.
if you spend $300-400 on table, you end up tip
Oh,
them
hold
a
on,
dollar.
hold on,
You
wait,
might
wait. I'm
be
not
about
talk. Hold on, I'm talking about to go orders. I just make that clear. I'm not talking about
mm,
dining in. If I'm dining in, then I mean it depends on how I feel. I could tip anywhere from, when I'm dining in, I don't tip less than like 15%. Put it that way, and depends on how I feel. I might go up more.
I mean even work out percentages are done. Me just feel like the lowest paper note me have because yeah, you when I have dollar, when I really have any paper note lower than £5.
Oh, okay, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so
I don't you guys have? Oh, but that's a coin, right? The pound is a coin.
yeah.
Okay.
And we have pound and £2 coin. And then the
Okay.
next note is a we have a £5 note.
Right.
Yeah, so if me a tip, me always feel the lowest me can tip is £5.
Well, you guys are compelled to tip a lot because, um, like let's a £5 is how much US dollars? Maybe like $7,
Maybe six
six,
to
seven.
seven
Yeah,
US.
I mean, there's sometimes I go to a restaurant, and I let's say I spend like $11 for my meal or whatever. I go on a lunch break and I sit down and eat, spend $11 for my meal. Sometimes I might tip like $2, $3, because I tip based on the percentage, because $2, $3 is probably in that 15 to 30% range depending on the cost of the total meal, you know. And
Mm.
so if you tip in £5, then that's way over what I'm tipping, and so that means you probably spend £10 and then you tip £5 on top, so you're tipping 50% then.
No, but it relative to what I spend still, like you say.
Okay.
If me not really spend certain amount, then it ain't even worth me tipping. You know. Yeah, but if me spend like I don't know, me throw a figure out there and say maybe £80 at a table, 80 to £100, then maybe
Right.
me might tip, and it really come down to just the experience me have, you know.
Yeah, no, the experience is very important. But just to touch back on the poor customer service, and this is something that I'm not sure if this is being said enough, but I feel like Jamaica in general, there's a lot of good customer service in Jamaica. Don't get me wrong, right? Mostly in the tourism industry. But when you get out of the tourism, the people that normally serve the tourists, and you get into the regular mom and pop shops where the locals buy their food, I find that a lot of the times, and I'm not going to say all the time because I don't want to put it on everybody, but a lot of the times, it's very, very bad service, the people that are serving you, a lot of the times, it happens too often to where it's like a thing, you know what I mean? And I noticed that, um, I noticed that it's something that has crossed waters to being overseas, because sometimes you go into a Jamaican restaurant, right, over here. I don't know about England, but in the United States, not all, because I don't want to put it on everybody, but a lot of times, a lot of restaurants when I go in there, you will normally see a lady, like a Jamaican lady at the front, taking the order, and she always look miserable, and look like she have an attitude. And then when she even like deal with it, she deal with it with her attitude. I see it way too often to where I can't help but talk about it.
Well, is the thing about stereotypes, is that you have a certain thing or event or behavior displayed over a certain period of time by a vast majority. So it almost become like a feature this demographic of people.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. But here's the thing too as well, because you find that while some of these people them will portray the same behavior, a lot of them when them come to across the waters and them have to be in a different places, them they're more willing to go out of them way and be polite and mannerable, you know, as opposed to if them did do it in a Jamaica. You know what I mean?
Yes, but I'm telling you, Chin, some of them, they have the same
Me know.
attitude that they have in Jamaica. It's just like come on, like my, sometimes I wonder, like, why people don't try to be nice if they're doing a job. Because I mean, I've done service work before, and one thing that I'm always successful in that type of stuff. You know why? Because I tend to try to be conscious of my presentation, and I also try to present myself in a way that is very approachable. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you're very approachable, and you have a good attitude, people love to deal with you, and people will go above and beyond to make sure they take care of you. You know?
Yeah, and recommend people to you as well.
Exactly.
And nothing better than a recommendation, man.
Exactly.
Because you have is promotion you can't pay for.
Right.
You know what I mean? And as an entrepreneur myself, me have people who basically recommend me just because me treat them good. You know
Right.
what I mean? Me communicate to them. Me just pleasant for be around.
Right.
Yeah. So even though sometimes you might not get a tip, that's basically like a review. But in person, somebody will make reference to me and like, oh wow, me know this videographer, me know this photographer, I'm really good, and it make me feel comfortable. So is a promotion when I can't pay for. You know
Right.
what I mean? And somebody they do me sales work for me.
Yeah.
You see me? So yeah, it's just the minimum you can expect from a service provider.
Oh yeah, like word of mouth is like the best thing because word of mouth basically it's like you already sold it because somebody already looking for that service, and they just need somebody that can validate who to do the service for them. And then usually when they hear about it, they're not looking around to say, okay, let me go try this person, let me go try that person. They're not even price shopping or anything. You know what I mean? In most cases, most cases they're just okay. Well, that person do it, and I know that person, so I'm just gonna go with that person recommendation.
Mm.
But hold on, let me ask you some. Well, before I ask you, I want to read a couple lives, a couple chats, and then I ask you the last question, and then I bring in the next call. All right. So let's big up some people on the live real quick. Big up some people on the live. First Millennial Entertainment, live with live. Big up, big up, big up, big up. You know what I mean? Oh, we big up. You don't know. You're already there. Anika, we live. Big up, big up. Factify World Forum, live. Big up, big up, big up. Lorna Smith, moms, big up, big up, big up. She said, big up yourself, Chin. She big you up.
Yeah, bless up, man. Bless up.
Yeah, man. Auntie Dulcie Smith. Chin so British.
I wouldn't.
Auntie. Big up Auntie Dulcie. Big up Dulcie Smith. Sanjay Sinanan. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Round of applause, my guy. Round of applause. Thank you for being here, Sanjay. Another financial guy, very, very astute financial guy, entrepreneur as well, know Sanjay for quite some time. Big up yourself, Sanjay. I'll read what Sanjay chat was. Sanjay said, I always read reviews, especially when I'm trying new restaurants. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Sanjay. Yeah, I read reviews all the time. I can't go without reading them because I want to know what the story is. Andy Smith, big up Andy Smith, big up because you're helping the worker when you tip. Yeah, definitely you are helping the worker when you tip. But definitely there's other sides to it, because sometimes it kind of feels like you're getting extorted when you're being tipped for the to go orders part. I feel like I'm being extorted a little bit when I'm being prompted to tip before I can pay for my order. When I'm not sitting, they're not doing anything extra. I'm just grabbing my food and going. But yes, I agree. We're helping the workers, but I would say particularly when you're doing when you're dining in, like you're sitting in, right? Sanjay Sinanan said, so it is 100% guaranteed that the tip will go to the workers and management or owners won't get or take a share. So he's asking a question if it's 100% guaranteed whether it will go or the workers will take a share. Sanjay, to answer that question, and Chin, you can piggyback on whatever I'm saying, or you can disagree or whatever. But it depends. It depends on who's the owner, because there's some owners and managers that are unscrupulous, and it's something I've seen before, to where people tip in both with cash and both with a card, and the person didn't receive their tips. Me particularly, I've received tip before working for. I won't say what it is, but I've worked for someone before, and I know they got tips, and I haven't seen $1 in the tip that you know what I mean, because they feel like they're already paying me, so they don't need to give me a tip. So yeah, it's it's part of the game. It happens. What say you, Chin?
Well, it all come down to because sometimes you might feel like you help out um the employee or the whoever the service provider was, but really and truly you're just lying in the pocket of the business owner,
Yeah.
because how them set up the whole system don't actually profit the employee or the person that you're trying to tip. So yeah, if me did sure that the person who getting it, whom want it to go towards, is going to be the recipient of this gesture, then most times when they're more open to it, you know. But not for me personally, it's not something will affect me because I'm more willing to put cash in a people's hand. I
Right.
still like to have cash in my wallet, even though most things I pay for with my card.
Right.
Um, yeah, but saying that, you know, you still have to provide basic expectations. I just that may have to reiterate all the time because some people feel like they're entitled for a tip. You know what I mean? And then
Exactly.
people that may blaze a fire for because you can't come with your tough up face and your nah no manners. You know what I mean? And then one time Bill come here like, where's my tip?
Yeah.
I tell them about them mama.
My God! My
All
God!
right, all right, all right. So read the other chats. Andy Smith said most places the tip is included in the charge, and that goes to the workers. So whatever you give to your server is for that person only. So yes, Andy Smith is talking about the service charge, which you guys are familiar with, Chin, in the UK, as well as it's a standard thing that's in Jamaica and some Caribbean islands as well, to where there is a service charge, and the service charge goes to everybody, I'm assuming. And then if
Mm.
you feel compelled, as if you want to give that person that's serving you directly an extra, which is a cash tip or whatever it may be, you can go ahead and do so. All right, so Tashima Brown, blessings, cuz bless up, bless up, bless up, bless up, cuz you don't know. Big up. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning into the live. Um, First Millennial Entertainment, tipping is discretionary, and I generally quantify the tip I give to a service provider if my expectations are exceeded. And Chin, you did say something about that. It's important that your expectations are exceeded because that is basically the catalyst for you to feel like you want to dip into your pocket and take out an extra and give somebody, don't?
Yeah, precisely.
All right.
And we're glad that we say exceeded and not just met because,
Right.
you know, if you go to a restaurant, what you expect? You know, your food will come out reasonable, quick, food will taste good, and
Right.
people will be polite.
That
I
is
mean, I don't
it.
know if you want to throw anything else in there. Anything else positive that happen beyond them three things, you know,
Right.
might initiate somebody to be a bit more generous.
Right. So let me ask you something, Chin. Have you ever tipped over 40% on a meal, and what made you do
That's
it?
a mad to you think of Bill Gates me? How are you talking there, my youth? 40%. I mean, I'm the boss after being employed. Them. You better go look for next book. If you ever wait for me to tip 40%.
Honestly, I have, but it's more on like smaller orders. You know, like I've done that before, but on smaller orders. You know, but if it's like a big order, no, there's no way, man. 40% is a lot. Can you imagine you're going to a restaurant and you spend like 200 USD and you're gonna tip 40%? That's like tipping $80. So your bill is gonna be 280.
Ah,
You know.
man. My my tip of being a single digit, man.
Well, look, nothing wrong with that. If you feel compelled that you want to be generous and tip 40% or over, that's your prerogative. I am not telling anybody that they shouldn't. And
No,
I'm
me
not
neither.
saying I wouldn't. I'm not saying
But
I wouldn't either. But generally I don't.
yeah, me neither. But anybody expect that the kind of tip from me have a long wait, man. Yeah.
And you know what too? Actually, when you go to that group of people as well, that those are moments when someone is, has there's a possibility somebody could get like a 40% tip, because maybe there's
Yeah.
somebody there feeling extra generous and they put a little extra,
And
on the
and
order.
here's the thing too, where some service provider probably need to be people where in the hospitality business in
Yeah.
when you have a group of people that you attend to, usually you have a good atmosphere. And if you can contribute to the atmosphere in a positive way,
Yeah.
then somebody in there might have a conversation. Oh, waiter really polite, or something like that. You know what I mean? And it might stir a conversation where they might say, oh, we'll leave her a tip or we'll leave him a tip. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. That group think when everybody feel happy and they come together and they say they're gonna make your day. Trust me, it's that's
Yeah,
a
man.
real thing. That's a real thing.
And the next thing, Tina, is like one person might say, yeah, that collective effort for um show appreciation,
Right.
might come in a big lump sum.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. So last question, Chin, and I'm gonna let you go and go on the other call because I know it's getting late on your side right now.
Mm.
Are you skeptic that your food will be handled differently from another to-go order that did leave a tip?
No,
No,
because right. So
not even a little bit skeptic.
no, sir. Me never used to think about
Well, I'm
that.
not saying that they're gonna spit in your food or anything. I'm just saying that it might not get the same amount of care as far as you know.
But here's why though, because when we use to do them kind of thing that I like Uber Eats and Deliveroo and them kind of thing there. So
Okay.
who you really a tip are the person who deliver your food. You know what I mean?
But can I tell you something though? I've seen my wife ordered DoorDash before, right? And she put no tip in the app, right? Because she wants to tip them cash. She doesn't want to tip them off the card so the government can take it, right? And so she put no tip. And say I seen her do it 2 times before, and the person that's delivering the food, they take long to come, and they seem as if basically it's like a bad delivery service because of that, because they think that they're not gonna get tipped cash. They
Mm.
don't know that, so they're not even giving her the benefit of the doubt. They're just thinking that, oh my god, this person didn't tip. I don't feel like I need to go above or beyond or do or try to even be or try to even meet the expectation versus even
But
exceeding the
here,
expectation.
but this is how the restaurant compensate for them thing there. You can complain and say your food never reach on time or your food is cool or you never get it at all. And so all of them little things mean that the person who deliver the food need to be on time still.
I
So
think I think in the app, the person that's delivering the food, if somebody chooses no tip, I think it shouldn't say no tip. I think there should be an option to say tip after. Because you get the wrong person a chin, and they think that you're just not gonna tip them, and they know they have to deliver the food anyway. You never know what that person might do with your food, man.
sure, that's true. You never know. But a good thing you're not gonna know if you don't know where you're fret about it for.
Yeah, but you don't want to find out. You don't want to bite into your burger or whatever it is, and you see
Well, then
some.
you're gonna know.
Listen, you know what I mean. You don't want to know that way. You don't want to find out that way. You know what I mean.
Then if what that may I say, if you find out, you find out. Then and then you can do what you do after.
But no, I don't want to
But
find out.
well, nobody look then.
I don't want to know because
But
if I
make sure you
find
tip.
out, all right. But
They have me by the hook,
damned if you do, damned if you don't, eh?
Me not really business because for one, they probably hate me. Cause they will carry food come and left in my porch. Cause alright, sometimes I work from my yard. Because me busy sometimes I can't get up go buy food or go make food. So me order food.
Yeah.
And if me now a meeting and them are knock the door, me can't get up and leave same time. Sometimes. So them just they are knock and left it. Sometimes we just we never get the food, However happen,
Oh, you're wicked enough.
Yeah, but at the same time, me never really tip none of them because what me I tip them for?
No, but hold on, Chin. If they deliver the food, man, you're supposed to tip. You know why?
We then get
Because
but me pay a delivery fee.
yes, but the delivery fee is like the restaurant worker that's getting $5 an hour. That's less than minimum wage. Man, you have to remember, this person is driving their vehicle, and they're putting wear and tear on their vehicle for little or nothing. So they're hoping that a little tip might help to catch up, But here's the thing, right? The problem is the restaurant. Sorry, not the restaurant, but the people that provide the app, they should price it better so that that person can get don't have to get tip to cover them fairly. You understand? But then again, if they price it a certain way, then what gonna happen is that they're not gonna get your business, because when you look at your, like this, if you were looking at the presentation earlier, when a $27 meal turned into $46 after the delivery cost and everything and tip. When you look at that, you might not feel like you want to do them service anymore, or maybe you probably go to another service that's probably doing it to where they're giving them the minimum and then doing the tip. So it like six of one half dozen of the other. But I think that you don't have to tip them big enough, but you have to give them something, because trust me, they're not getting paid the right way.
Me hear you say still, but me don't really feel obliged for tip deliver nobody will deliver.
Okay. Well, I don't think you have to. It's just based on how you feel. So, like, you're not doing anything wrong, like illegal, but I see where some people can argue that morally it might be a gray area morally. I wouldn't say you're totally wrong or anything, but might be a gray area.
But yeah, the next thing is to is culture. You know, we which part we come from. We not necessarily brought up in that. Well, some people might argue and say, "Oh, you're there so long enough now for for used to how the system work and whatever." But you know what I'm saying? You can't take me out of the Jamaica way. You can't really take the Jamaica out of me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
true.
Yeah. Yeah, which part me live at Kingston. We try to get pizza delivered there. And it's like, no, we don't deliver to that part of Kingston. You know? Yeah, but we buy all food already and we see some of my food missing. You know what I mean?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
The man who deliver food eat out some or drink out some of my juice. So when me just said that, we say, I don't just call me mean, I just call me not really trust them.
Hey, me nah lie, when you order certain type of food, nobody can tell me nothing. Some people eat out of it. Like when you order like fries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People open your food and eat it out, bro. I'm telling you, they do it. You can
Yeah.
imagine somebody that drive around all day, I do Uber Eats or I do DoorDash, them probably hungry. Some people do that, Some people will do
Yeah,
it, chin.
we buy like dirty fries, I think I like cheesy fries.
Yeah.
And when you get here and you open it, you can switch past some of the cheese, some of sitting did sit on between the cheese because it melt. and, and I just want layout left. I say, yo, something did dead so when I dead again.
Yeah, but you can't use what them say. You can't use full fat fried pig or pig fat fried fowl. The good. You can't really say the good suffer for the bad certain thing. Because
But that happen all the while. That happen all the while
yeah,
because
so
them experience the left you on edge.
yeah, true. And then also too is the people that don't tip for certain things too. you know what I mean, is what caused people for be like rude, like asking for tip and stuff like that. So that's another thing too. You know what I mean? Because even though yes, it's customary that somebody tip, but you really shouldn't ask for a tip. You understand? You should give that person the opportunity to do.
Yeah, do your job well enough
Yeah.
that the person feel compelled.
Yeah, give that person the benefit of the doubt. Honestly, if somebody asks me for a tip, I feel offended because I feel like you're looking at me as if I'm a person that is not going to tip. You know what I mean? As if I'm not spending my money there. And last thing I want somebody to do is remind me to tip, Virgin. You know, you can remind me if I don't tip. That's different. But come on, man. I'm here. I'm finishing my food. You come and tell me, say, oh, remember to tip. No, man, that's disgusting, man.
Yeah, well, for me find the whole question rude because a tip, a tip for me is a gesture, right? We shouldn't feel obligated to make a gesture. The fact that me already employ your services or me a trade money for whatever you offer, whether it be a product or a service, is already me a balance the sheet. You give me a product or a service, me exchange money with you, right? Or the money that you quote me for this thing. Anything extra off of the back of that, me not obligated to do it. If me feel like, so nobody should not ask me, oh, you pay your bill, but you want to put some more. Like,
yeah, they ask you, oh, do you want a tip? Sometimes people say it in they might not straight up ask you for a tip, but they say it in other ways to you know what I mean, basically asking for a tip. But Chin, I tell you this, the next time somebody asks you for a tip, like straight up asking for a tip,
they never find a different work.
Just tell them this. Okay, you want a tip? All right. Don't walk down a lonely street by yourself in a big city at night.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I just say them,
Yeah, bro. But yo, Chin, we're gonna get another call. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna keep you any longer, bro. You know what I mean?
All right,
thank you so much for calling, bro. For forever grateful, bro. You know what I mean?
I say a word, man. Bless up, man.
All right. Yo, big up. Everybody make some nice and Chin.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, man. Blessing. All right. So that was Chin, guys. You know what I mean? Vibes up the live and thing. You know the strips go. All right, there we go. All right, so let me pull up the other call in the meantime, guys. While I hold on, check. Okay, while I do that, in the meantime, let me just play some music while I set up the other call. All right. Line up yourself, Carlos. You know the strips. Guys, remember to like the live if you haven't already. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Guys, if you haven't already and you know somebody that would like this type of content, go ahead and share it to them. Let's get some new followers. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers, guys. We're 304 followers right now. The numbers are good, the views are very good, but we need to get the followers up, guys. We need to get the subscribers up. So definitely share it, alright?
Man, keeping it real, I'm not just run my mouth. Well, militant can't take me from
Call us, line up yourself, you. I'm gonna call you.
I'ma try through life, I'ma keep on the money route. Knowledge what them a talk about. Yo, me have to rich forever and ever and ever. Tell them I pray for rich forever and ever and ever. Search for better, rich forever.
Up and running, bro. What's up?
Carlos! Everybody make some
bro?
nice so Carlos!
My God!
Running, man.
Yeah, man!
Something alright.
Well, go on, my J.
Something alright, yeah.
Yeah, but there, man, as always, I take in the live and I hear a China say, and he says, only a realistic thing,
Yeah.
about tipping, you know. I find a lot of jovial love because I share some similar sentiments when it comes to this tipping, you know.
Yeah.
Like, no joke, you know. But, you know, like, I guess everybody will feel the need to tip based on how satisfied they are in the service that they seek to get. So, I mean, as I said, it kind of depends. But, I mean, tipping though, Tristan, in general, I just look on tipping as being something that it should be discussion, based on your discussion. Because if I go to a restaurant or I go to anywhere at all to get either a service or a product, it just based on me and how I feel about the product that I receive or the service that I've been provided, you know. And if I think that the service provider at least exceed my expectation, then we will provide them with a tip if I feel like I may have the money. Because another thing, you know, a lot of times when we go on the road, we go out with a budget. A lot of times, these days, me like a lot of females and we say, boy, them no bougie on a budget and all these things. But as a man now, who when it comes to numbers and things now, we take that very serious, you know. So if I'm going on the road and say I'm going to a restaurant and I'm going to spend $100. Sometimes I just feel like I just need to go to the restaurant and say like $100. If they have like gratuity that has been factored into that $100, well, they can get it from there. Sometimes the paid me to know say after paying that $100, I'll have to take out like an extra $5 or whatever it is like to give somebody a tip, you know. So, but I mean that is overfeel sometimes. It's kind of relative. But you know, I can talk about this tipping thing based on a customer point of view, from a service provider point of view, because I could recall when I was about 18, my first real job was in the hospitality industry, specifically a hotel, where I was providing service to guests. And honestly, like whenever like I could like recall like a scenario when a guest like told me like to get them some ice, and when that guest said get me some ice, you know, like I feel so good within myself. So I know that once I bring this ice back to the guest, I'm gonna be tipped. And you know, like the reality is that I could recall bringing back the ice and I only get like 2 quarters. Or $1, you know? Or $1. I was like, geez, I'm like, and I put in so much work to get this ice. But then again, there are other instances where I deliver it and I get a good tip. So I mean, it depends. It depends. I guess it depends on the customer who I'm providing the service and how they feel about me. And sometimes the person, the guest might generally just don't have any money, you know. So but back then I was like looking at it different. I was like, Jesus man, this guest could not give me like a $20 or $5 because you know, put in the work. So you know, we expect to get like a tip. So that's just how I look at it from a service provider point of view. And then there are many other instances. I was like, as a mover, when I was going on work and travel move, and at that time we work for the shipper. I would do so much work to move the furniture out of the place.
Extra work and not just the minimum. You know, oh, you move in one place and then they say, oh, can you move it here? Instead, I think it looks better here.
Yes. So, and the good thing, you know, so when you see that shipper now, when you reach lunchtime and that shipper was all right, we're going to provide a guy with lunch, they'll give you some pizza and drinks or whatever. But then the next thing that you're really looking for when the job is done, you know, is tipping, and sometimes no tip. But you see that a lot of times, you know, the driver is the one who normally get the tip. So even after the job is done, you can't believe that there is no tip, you know. So like, but then there are other instances where the shipper they tip everybody. They just come out and give everybody $10 or $20 and you feel good, you know. You feel good that you receive the tip. So that's another one. And I could recall being like as an Uber driver and a Lyft driver, because you know that when you drive an Uber and Lyft here in the US and you move around a passenger, and when you look at the end and see the money that the passenger paid and the tip included, you feel so good. And to make even better, some of the passengers will directly give you like $20 or $5 because I get huge tips, cash. And I get huge tips from a lot of passengers when I was doing that. So you know, so I have my good days as a service provider, receiving tips from customers. So I mean, whenever it comes to my end now to provide like tips to a service provider, all right, you know what? It is really relative because I'm gonna start with a restaurant first. Because for me, when I go to any restaurant, the first thing that I start to do, right, I start to look at the restaurant. I start to look at the whole physical evidence or the restaurant is how it look. Then the next thing is whoever approach me. Depending on how they approach me, if they approach me with some, with some form, they show that they are a bit sociable and and some form of courtesy. Once they are demonstrating that, then all right, that's another plus, all right. And then, based on the food that we ordered, if the presentation of the food looks good, that's another plus.
Yeah.
And the time is also another factor because a lot of times the order food, me I always go to a restaurant very hungry. Just very, very hungry. And when we go to a restaurant, I just have this Jamaican thing, like me, I say, all right, like me go like me always see, like I go to a regular Jamaican restaurant and order a plate of food and expect in about 5 minutes to get it. When you go to a dining restaurant, and I'm man, I say, Jesus, man, me always say, like, how long will the food take to be here? They say, like, probably 16 minutes. And my man, I say, well, that's a takeaway from the tip because me expect to get my food, like, like right now. So I don't know, Carlos, man, they can't look funny like that, like, you have to wait to get the food and things. But sometimes I crack only for a joke, I crack a lot of jokes in a restaurant and things. Just so you know that, like,
yeah.
just to keep it to keep it cool, But yeah, so not to share. So if the food come on time and everything now, and when the next thing now, the food is the presentation of the food is good. The presentation of one, So when we eat the food now, Jesus and please. You say me eat the food after we done eat the food, me always mark out at 10. And I say, the food I like a cheer at 10 though. And all I'm cheered at 10. So I'm never say you and chill, I don't feel like I need to provide anything. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that joke that I always run, but I always tip though. But with me, like initially when I was providing tip to service provider, I normally don't tip based on the percentage. Me I always just alright, say if the bill come to like 100 and sit down there, I probably need to give them $6, So $6. But then I use the percentage because I say, well, really and truly, like I didn't feel like, and then like sometimes, I say, well, boy, you can't do that, man. Yeah, you need to provide more. But generally, I just feel like I said, like, I'm my money still, so me can provide what me can keep whatever me feel like me need to take. I don't think there needs to be a force or a guilt to feel like I say, if me provide $6, then like me feel like I say, boy, me give them $20. I feel like I should tip based on what I have because tipping is something that is discretionary, bro. And I know a lot of times that those waiter/waitress who are working at restaurants that they have been paid based on the tip that you provide them with. And but a lot of times these waiters, whenever they receive their tip, they're not even reporting the tip that they receive in cash to the restaurant owner. And I know this because when I was back then, when I was like doing some work, accounting for some restaurants, we use this formula to determine if a lot of these waiters were underreporting their tip because generally in the US they expect like the restaurant we're expecting that they're supposed to be like 15% tip. So most of the time it's just like if the restaurant made like $3,000 or $3,000 hypothetical number, and when you look at like only like $15 is been cash tip has been received. We have this little formula that says the waiters or the service provider underreport their tip. That's just an estimate though because we don't know for sure how much money that they actually make they actually receive. But we know for a fact that $3,000 some amount of tip was allocated by the guest steward. So we know that. But so, a lot of those waiters they are not reporting their tip. That's not my business anyway because I'm not the IRS and I'm not hunting down for but really.
But there's some funny business with the restaurant, especially with some restaurants when they're not doing that well, and some of those owners they will be some of them they will let their morals get the best of them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And end up which that is wrong because that is basically stealing from your employees because if you already set a policy to say, okay, well, whatever comes in, we're going to split it or we're going to split it whatever percentage and then you get the money from the customer and then you don't split it. Come on, man. That's wrong.
That is it's important. Interesting that you said that in Tristan because I recall like back then I refer to my first job working in the hotel. Like I could recall whenever we get tip, the general rule is that we're gonna share it. I remember one time I get some tip. Long time ago that, long time, you know. And this guy was like, Carlos, you know, share the tip, man. I said, no, of course not share the tip, man. People watch you when they get tip, you know.
Yeah.
Don't watch you there to see if they're share the tip. But I mean, like, me, I still like that. Me get tip, never share it because, I mean, we all provide a service, and at the end of the day, like, everybody, tipping actually make you feel good. It makes you feel good when you tip somebody, you know. So that was another thing, but not to share too much, you know, Tristan. Like, so I said, like, with the food and the restaurant, and me get a good service, me generally always feel like very, very motivated to provide a tip to the service provider. My barber, another one. Whenever I go to my barber, there's a fixed amount of tip, fixed tip. I always give my barber because my barber generally always do a good job.
Right.
You know,
right.
and you know what? It's the thing that upset me. One time I went to my where I always get my haircut, and the barber wasn't there, and this other guy, you know, give me a haircut, and I was like, "You're not going to do anything like that, the other barber." And the guy said, "No." Said to myself, "You know what that means, you know? No tip for you, you know." So like, you never get any tip because I mean, my expectations like barely meet my expectations. Much less to exceed my expectations. I know, you know, just that. Like here in the shape, you know, the shape and the way I'm line when you're lean and moustache and everything. You know, everything is messed up. You know, the worst thing you can do, you know, when you go to a barber, you know. If you don't go to a barber, especially when they are in high school, and you go to a barber, and you go to school and you see a man up and you say, "How would you mean?" You know? So I'm going to get how would you mean? 2 things come to you, man. You know, you know, the line messed up.
Yeah, when a man take look at you, remember school days, man used to say, look at you and say, "Yo, hombre, your barber if you get arrested and go to prison." Yeah, you know what I mean? I had my fair share of bad haircuts. I can tell you that. You know what I mean? I've had my fair share of bad haircuts when I was a kid growing up. Even as an adult. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Yeah.
As an adult, I like, remember when we Tristan, like the change barber very often, you know. Even since we moved to my current location, I used to go to this barber and like, and I said, no man, this is nothing compared to what my barber is doing. So I switched to, and another thing with these barbers, you know, they watch you, you know, like, I was at Jamaica, I used to switch barber, like, move from one shop go to the next shop, and the next barber, see me the barber, and I look for him like, you know, where you stop tripping with me, you know, not to understand, so like,
make you feel guilty.
So feel, but I mean, as I said, Tristan, like, it generally comes down to service and how you feel pleased about the service that you have been provided. So you choose to shop where you want to shop, pay for your service wherever you want to pay for that service, because at the end of the day, you want to spend your money somewhere where you feel like you're getting value for your money. So I guess like they need to look into themselves and say the reason why a person might not give me any tip is because I probably need to level up with my service, or I need to, in some way I need to improve, because generally I'm not go into like a restaurant anyway and make a pull up a knife and complain. Trust me, I'm one of them silent complainers. Honestly, we just come out. You see something like you mentioned earlier, I'll be one of those person that come out and I don't go back to that place, you know. So you know that like you can strike me off your list as a customer, you know. So that's how I rate like service, you know. Like supermarket and those places, like, no, I really don't see the need to really like give tip to somebody. Even though today, don't get me wrong, today I went to Publix and this guy helped us bring out the buggy, and I wanted to tip him, but they're not allowed to take tip.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just feel good, you know. It's a feel good moment to like you say, all right, John, like this guy over the person, but they provide me with such a good service, or they help me out, so I feel like I can give them tip. But that's the only way. And the sad thing about it, though, you know, like a lot of times when I don't even have cash, like to tip anybody to look at that, really have like cash on me to provide tip. So I mean, but if I have it though, I will provide on the service. Tipping.
So
even church.
Yeah.
Church.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, all right. It's kind of interesting, you know. I don't feel like I'm trying to, but I went to church last year, and at two occasions that happened. So I went to church, and you know, it was going to that point where Mr. walking around. the offering and pay tip. But these days, you know, everything has changed. So even if you don't have the money, you can sell or cash up, you know. So me, I always, you know, I say like with my like a mean server. I say, yeah, man, I cash up the man to sell them, you know. I just realize like up to this year I don't send any money to the that's no money man like I have no money man. So,
My God! My God!
They can't wait, so. I guess it just depends, man. Like to me, like
man, you all up God money, you know.
If pastor preach, I don't even need to take the pastor, you know, like
man, you all up God money, you know. Alright, let me ask you something. Do you normally tip on to-go orders? Is that something that you've done before?
Alright, honestly, I did. But it depends though, you know, depends. Like normally when I go to like you have this like smoothie place I always go. It's called Island Cafe. Normally I go there to get like a smoothie and like I get a jerk chicken wrapper or whatever. And, like normally give them like 2% tip. Right. Sometimes I normally do that, but not everywhere I will I give tip to go, because I just think that if I'm going to a to-go restaurant, and especially in a restaurant or a Golden Crest, you see, and the reason why sometimes I don't provide any tip to those people, you know, and it's kind of sad to say this because now when Jamaican people are working there, and most of the time when you go there trying to order the food, like you tend to get this farmer, you kind of get a kind of behavior. I don't know if that's because you're like a Jamaican and you ask like for certain things on the menu, you just asking general questions, and the way the mannerism that they display when you ask for the food or anything that you're asking. But it doesn't seem to be coming from a good place, you know. So right there and then, you know, like in my mind, no tip, you know, no tip. So most of the time when I go to those restaurants, and it's always to go because I don't normally eat in those restaurants, I don't provide any tip, no tip. I always just whenever I go to the point where I'm paying my money, I click on no tip and just move on, you know. So I would say like in most cases I don't provide tip to when I'm doing to go, because I don't feel like I should be compelled to pay tip for a to go service, because at the end of the day, like I am getting the food to go home to eat. It's not like it's a full service restaurant where I'm gonna dine in and then I'll have to the waiter is gonna go all out to ensure that whatever I'm requesting, like if I'm requesting a drink or I'm requesting something additional, they are going the extra mile to get me something additional so that I can feel satisfied. So in that case, I can see the need for tip. But as long as it's a to go, as long as I'm going out, it is really relative. So I don't normally like tip like regularly when I'm getting a to go service. Yeah, I don't even think they should have tip on that, as a matter of fact, because
that's what
if
I'm
you think
saying.
about it, like, tip should not be there.
Well, honestly, look, I don't mind tip being there, but it should be structured differently. You know, it should be to where you're and the guy in the video brought it up earlier. It shouldn't be to where what's the word they're looking for? I can't remember the words that he used, but basically what he's trying to say is that you shouldn't omission and commission. Yes, those are the words, right? It should be something of omission. So if you don't see it, or if you see it and you avoid it, then you avoid it, right? You just pay, right? Which would mean that it's there on the side somewhere you can click to if you want to do it, or you can just avoid it, which is omission, right? Right? So that I'm fine with omission. Commission I'm not okay with. Commission meaning that you actively have to, it's there in your face and you actively have to say, no, I don't want to tip, basically, with what you're pressing in order to move on to the next step, which is paying your bill. You know, so I'm fine with omission. I'm okay with there's an opportunity for you to tip and it's visible, but it shouldn't be commission to where, okay, you can't go to the next step until you click, no, I don't want to tip. You understand?
I find that very annoying though, you know, Tristan, because like even like this simple like Starbucks place to go to, a lot of times that you have to go to just to go to the final payment, you have to go through like that tip process, and then is the next process is you like omitting the tip and then you move on to your payment. I don't think they actually generally have to go through that, because
Right.
And I said like, I'm just getting like, come on, man. I'm going like to Starbucks to get like a green tea for like $5, and I need to pay a tip.
And I need to tip for that. Like, come on, man. Y'all need to stop. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
you know what, though?
I don't think.
Sometime, you know, the person that's giving you the key, the machine to go further. Sometimes some people they'll click no tip before they even give you the push the machine to you. So you know what I mean? A lot. I've seen that a lot of times where they'll put no tip and it'll just be okay the amount that you're gonna swipe your card for or whatever. You understand?
Yes.
But you know, for the most part, most people don't do that. You know, most people don't.
Yes, Tristan. It's really like it's just like when once you're gonna let tip be the first, like a customer is gonna be confronted with tip immediately after they're ready to pay for the product that they are buying. I don't think that it's kind of discouraging. Like just like you said to the customer, like, you know what, like just put something on the money. Like I need something. Like you shouldn't. A customer shouldn't have to feel guilty or feel compelled. Like, boy, you can imagine that I'm not giving this person any tip. I don't think.
And then most times you're looking that person in the face.
You know what? You know, funny it is. You know, funny it is. A lot of times, a person might be going to get like a coffee from like Starbucks, you know. I know that person might only have that $5 loan on their account. It might just only be the $5 alone.
You never know.
And like, yeah, you never know. You never know like anybody the budget that anyone is going on the road or the amount of money that they have. It might be rough for a lot of people. So I don't think like encourage what restaurants should do. I mean, I say praise to the jar. Honestly, the jar that is normally there, I think that's better. The tip jar is better than factoring that tip feature on the payment system. I think a tip jar, because at least when you see that tip jar, and if you go there and have some cash, at least you know you can get it. But one thing though, as long as that tip jar is there, boy, I think they're not getting no tip from us to look at. You know, but they don't have no cash, so it's probably it's just 6 or 1.5 dozen of that.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I get like a big part of this. Why this tip culture has gotten to this point is because when COVID happened, right? When COVID happened, there weren't that many people going to restaurants anymore because everybody was locked into their houses and stuff. You know what I mean? So the restaurants, they were, low on revenue and they needed to make up revenue. So they were relying on people being extra generous because of the whole scenario, the whole situation economically with restaurants. A lot of restaurants got closed down, like restaurants that were running for many years got closed down and basically got run out of business, because COVID really separated the restaurants that were actually doing okay from the restaurants that were basically on that last straw, before they were dying. You know what I mean? So that was the straw that broke the camel's back for a lot of restaurants, and that was just something to help to basically help the restaurants keep afloat. You know what I mean? Because that extra tip will help them to keep employees and not having to cut staff and all that stuff. So I understand why, but I think it could have, and a big part of it, and like the video said, referred to before, a big part of it is not really the fault of. It's not the fault of the employee, and even some cases maybe not the fault of the owner, but the way how the machines are designed. Because the machines.
The payment system, but
right.
To be honest, though, like I think I beg to differ though, because I think, and just based on experience with like restaurants though, they don't have to have that feature in it. That feature doesn't necessarily.
It's something that they can initiate
because,
or
because if you look at the report, if you look at the end of the day, whichever payment and POS system that restaurant is using, at the end of the day, Tristan, like when you look at the report, tip is sometimes you have to tip a part of the report. But if they don't want to have tip a part of that final report, it doesn't necessarily have to be a part of it. But I don't think like it's just the restaurant just trying to see if they can get like additional money.
But what about the design? I think it has to do with the design as well, because I think that when you look at it, the tip shouldn't be the first thing that come up, and usually it's the thing it fills the screen basically. So you just have to acknowledge whether you're gonna tip or not, and you're prompted to make a decision right there, right? I think that if you can have it to where it says complete your order, and then below that there's a button to say add tip, I think that it should be structured that way as far as design wise, because that way it's obvious that you show people that they can leave a tip, but they're not commissioned to leave a tip. You know what I mean?
Most of these restaurants, Tristan, they're using like similar POS system. Point of view, they're using similar POS system, and most of those POS systems they are similar. If you should like compare like when you go to like a Publix, you're not gonna see like when you're ready to pay like there's an option that says tip. You don't see that. You don't see that.
No.
So I'm thinking that like these restaurants they're deliberately trying to get those from a POS system, because they're I don't know if they're trying to say they encourage tipping, but they want the tip. At the end of the day, they want the tip, and like I mean, as I say, like for a to go restaurant, man, come on, like I think that feature can be eliminated, honestly, because.
But then I give them some leeway, because sometimes the to-go, the same payment that they're doing with the to-go, the same machine or same software design is what they're using for the dining in people that are tipping as well. So, 6 and 1/2 does not the other, but dining in people, you shouldn't have to. I think that they could change the structure of the design, because dining in people, they should know that they're supposed to tip. You don't have to push it in front of them to say, okay, remember the tip first. You know what I mean? Because that's customary.
You see that is distasteful. Listen, honestly, Tristan, if I go to any restaurant, because I think I experienced that once, Yeah. I experienced that. It wasn't even a restaurant, though. But if I go to a restaurant and the waiter is asking me for tip, I'm not gonna give that waiter any tip. Somebody is already that table can give to, but I'm not gonna give any tip. I find that very distasteful and disrespectful, because I'm here to get food and drink and eat, and then you're gonna tell me that you ask me for tip. Like it's just like and one of the next weirdest thing in Tristan is like, have you ever gone to a restaurant and you got the bomb rush before?
What do you mean?
Bomb rush is like when you go to the restaurant and the rest whoever is serving the waiter is like they are just like as you finish eating the food they give you the bill. This rush the bill to you like they can't wait for it to get
I've seen that before. That's happened to me before. Like they're not even checking to see if you wanted anything else.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't like that. Before you give me the bill, you need to ask me if I'm okay and if you like anything else. Don't just give me the bill and say, hey. And I've seen that happen before to me, where they're just assuming that I'm not gonna order anything anymore, and they put the bill on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I generally don't like that. Honestly, I generally don't like that. And that's always another tip downgrade. Honestly, if you bomb rush me, that's a tip downgrade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a tip down. Because I think like service provider and waiters, waitress, they need to really like to have a rapport with the customers. Not necessarily you're gonna ask them everything, but you try to build this. Because I look out for those things.
You really should. Because it's a service industry. You should be personable and you should have small conversations. You can't just be quiet. So, or else that's gonna reflect in the tip. You gotta be, not to say you have to be funny or be a comedian or be a court gesture, but you gotta be able to talk about things that you and the customers can relate to. Maybe you guys have kids. Maybe there's something that you can talk about. How's the weather? Something. You gotta talk to people, and because it's a service industry, and that's
Exactly. Just like I was at this restaurant the other day, I was like, the waitress like, I was not running a joke. I was like, tell the chef, bring me another lobster. Trying to be funny, she was laughing, because sometimes it depends, because everybody can run joke with that. Like, I don't like to go to restaurant to run joke and all this. Yeah. I'm just like, you're there, like, just saying you're there, and like, you just want to feel like, what it is already. Like,
you're sitting at a restaurant eating food stuff in your face and drinking alcohol, bridging. It's all right, as long as you're not like saying anything inappropriate, you can, I mean, it's...
Yeah,
come
of
on,
course,
man.
of course.
Yeah.
Of course, just like that. Probably one of the best, because I mean, most of the time we're either working or we're with home with our family or doing something. So most of the time when you go to a restaurant and having a drink, you let your guards done and you're just like
exactly
and having a good time. So you want to ensure that the food is whatever meal you have been provided, it's been well done and you have a good time. You know, and that's I understand that's at the time when you are leaving as a customer. You might feel like I can give you additional tip, because I've seen cases where there is gratuity and I also tip. I'm not gonna lie. There's gratuity and I also tip. Not because I have money, but I just feel like I can tip because, as I said, I was putting myself in the capacity of the person who's providing the service and somebody who used to provide service, and I'm looking forward for tips. So sometimes I know people, I know when they're looking forward for tips. And sometimes I laugh to myself because I say I've been in that situation. I can't wait. I'm just with this hope that they're gonna give me some tips. So like I tip based on that the same feeling as well. So I'm not like that. Whenever I come to tip, I run a joke and say something now I tip them, but I will tip. Honestly, I will tip.
But
with the weight as well. Sorry, go ahead, Tristan.
Question: do you feel more compelled or guilty to tip on to-go orders when prompted on card machines?
Yeah, definitely yes. When it's prompted on a card machine,
right?
I don't think I hear a question card.
Do you feel more compelled or guilty to tip on to-go orders when prompted on card machine? Meaning that when the tip thing comes up before you can even finish your payment, do you feel compelled to tip or guilty to tip?
You know, I would say I feel yes, a lot of times sometimes I feel compelled to tip, because and that's what I really don't like. A lot of restaurants, to-go restaurants that I go to, like whenever that part comes up, it's just like I would say, I probably would give them like $2 or whatever based on the percentage, because most of the time it was a 15%, 20%, 30%, and I always select the lowest one though, you know, and I shouldn't have to do that. Because I am
just to make this clear, this is to-go orders.
Yeah, to go. It's to-go orders. It's to-go orders. And I'm consistent, you know, I mostly do to-go orders. Mostly, because I be like, unless it's like I'm planning to like to go for it, most of the time it's always a to-go order. And I have the specific location that I always go to when I'm at work. And it's always like that. And most of the time I find myself giving away $2 when I really don't want to give it, you know, but you know, just, you know, look like, because I just don't feel like the person who's cashing the food is like, this brother, me, and can put something on it like I do it. And I shouldn't have to be doing that. I should only tip based on what I can, if I can afford.
Generous.
Yeah, I'm generous. Not even generous. It's not even generous if I feel like I can afford it. Because most of the time I go to a restaurant, I might say to myself, all right, I'm going to spend $10 at the restaurant. If it's $10 I go to that restaurant, it's $10 I need to spend. I don't think that they should have like a payment system in such a way where like it's gonna let you feel like you are like this mean person or you don't want to spend anything additional. I feel like it's my money and I don't need to be spending extra money on food. Because I think if I go to spend $10 and I end up spending $13, I'm paying extra money. When there's no need for me to do that. So I really do not like when it's the tip is on the payment system when I'm doing a to-go order. I feel like I'm being compelled to make a payment of a tip whenever I'm confronted with that. And I generally don't like it.
All right. So what service industries do you believe should get tips? Can name a few?
Honestly, I'm not gonna I don't think any singular industry should be favored with tipping as opposed to other. And the reason why I say this is because at the end of the day, I just think that once services are being provided, right? If you, the customer, thinks that you are being provided with a good service, whether it be you go to a restaurant, whether it be somebody comes to your house to fix like some issues that I have, whether I have to be like with your pipe that's being burst or something, whether it be you go to the barber, whether it be you go to the saloon, whether it be anywhere that you go to get a service, whether or not you go to the spa, anywhere that you go to get service and you feel like the service is being done and it exceeded your expectation. I think that out of generosity, if you have money, you can provide it. Because at the end of the day, like people are, and it's not really that you are saying to yourself that, you know what, why am I giving this person extra money? Just like you feel good, so you can. That's it. All depends on you, the individual, you know. But I have a certain set of people that I normally tip though. My barber, and when I go to the restaurant, and I have an instance though where I go into this spa. Very situation never happened to me. Go to the spa, to get, I think it was a foot spa. Like you know what? That I was supposed to pay $15 Tristan. And you know what happened? I accidentally gave $50 tip, you know.
What?
$50. Yeah, honestly, like I accidentally gave $50 tip. Like,
My God!
And when I gave the $50 tip, I was like, Jesus Christ, just to get it already. I was gonna say, like, you know, I think I make a big mistake, give it back, you know, but you know what, like, which I shouldn't let it ride, you know. But you know what, I let it ride. I just say, you know what, probably the next time when you come here, I can like we can work it out. I feel so bad. I was feeling so stupid that day, you know, because I was like, I made a big mistake by giving this lady so much. That's the most tip. I end up giving a lady $50 tip. I've never given anybody so much tip before, and that was by mistake, you know. You know what? And probably was because I probably like the meanest back then when like I give people like whatever I want and give them. So probably that moment I just catch me. You know?
This is a moment of karma.
Yeah, a moment of karma, you know. So,
Alright, let me ask you something. Alright, so would you rather your average tip amount priced into the meal so workers can be paid more? Are you okay with that instead?
If I would have my average,
the average tip amount priced into the meal so the workers can get paid more. So meaning that the meal is gonna be the average meal is not gonna be as cheap. It's gonna be more expensive, but then you won't be required to tip.
You know, honestly, I don't like when gratuities in the bill. Honestly, I don't like it. And I have that. I feel that issue the other day of very, very exorbitant bill. And it was like gratuity was. And when I look at the amount that was charged for gratuity, I was upset. I don't like it. I don't think they should not put. I mean, I know it's a general some high-end restaurant they put gratuity a part of the bill. And sometimes they even have the audacity to ask if you're tipping. You know. Yeah, there's a gratuity. Some of because I get to understand that whenever you go to any restaurant, that if they are not serving over 6 people or more, they should not charge gratuity. And the other day was 4 of us, and gratuity was factored into the bill. I don't think I don't like the idea when gratuity is being charged in the bill that you're paying for the food. I just think that you should pay the money for the food, and then there's a portion that for tip, and you either pay 15%, 20%, or you pay whatever. Because I don't think we should. A lot of time people get caught up in the moment, feeling like, oh, everyone is normally like a bill is for $400 or $300. I should just give them $50. I think like if you go to a restaurant and the bill is like $400 and you feel like you want to give $2 tip, you should just give that $2 tip and right. And it's regardless of what the waiter is being paid. I don't think like I'm responsible for paying any waiter. It's a restaurant owner who should be responsible for paying the waiter. Sorry, because when you look at the restaurant revenue for any night, the restaurant they make a lot of money for the food and in the bar, and they are paying these waiters like $3 an hour. Come on, like they can pay the waiters can receive a wage. I know that some people will feel away because they say that the waiters are working so hard, so we have to pay the waiters, pay the tips so the waiters can get paid. But I being a customer is not responsible for paying a waiter. I don't know where they get that concept from, but I've been looking into that for the longest while, and I think that something needs to be changed about that, because it is the restaurant owners who should be paying the waiters for the service that they are providing. It is not, the burden should not be on me, the customer, to ensure that I am tipping as a waiter or a waiter so that they can get paid. I don't think I should have to face that burden. I mean, a lot of people will say otherwise, but that's just my belief, and I stick to that.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you to an extent, but then there's some cases where, just to play devil's advocate, you know, restaurants aren't always doing as well as some restaurants aren't always doing as well as others. I'm sure you probably noticed like some restaurants when you go in there, no matter what time, whether it's lunch hour, evening or breakfast, it empty. You know, no, they don't have a lot of customers. Now, if they have somebody there working as a waiter or whatever, and they're paying them average hourly wage that's not reduced, then even though they're not getting any customers, they still have to pay that expense to have that person sitting there not really doing anything. So I think that's a big part of it, to where when the restaurant is slow, I see where that can help the restaurant to save money, because technically that person probably doesn't really have anything to do, and they're just there sitting wait for the next customer to come in. So it's kind of more like they're paying the waiter as in like well, it's a more of a commission job. So you eat what you bring. I guess what you eat what you bring in, even though technically they aren't bringing in the customers, but they're bringing in the tip, if you look at it that way, because it depends on how they treat the customer is what type of tip they're gonna get.
I agree with you to an extent, though, Tristan, because and this is something I've been looking into for the longest while. Based on my experience with restaurants and I see how they operate. A lot of times, these restaurants, I know a lot of, especially full service restaurants, and especially in the summertime, that's a peak time, that's a peak of the revenue, and when they're selling all these food. You mean to tell me that they're selling all this high-end food, seafood and all this kind of food, and you're telling me that it is supposed to be the customer who is paying the waiter. Like, they're making money from the food. If you look at any restaurant, the restaurant make a lot of money from the food and from the bar. They make money from the food and from the bar. So if a restaurant is going through a situation where they're not doing good business, and they are providing it's a full service restaurant, you probably need to change it to like one of those, like a restaurant where like it's a buffet line where the customer can pick up their food. I don't think I'm responsible for any way. I should not be responsible for a waiter. If the waiter is not being paid well at that restaurant, they probably need to find another job.
All right, last question, bro, and then I gotta wrap up the live because it's like 7:56. All right.
Yeah.
Are you skeptic that your food will be handled differently from another to-go order that did tip?
I don't hear you clear. Say that again, Tristan.
Are you skeptic that your food will be handled differently from another to-go order that did tip?
Yeah, to a certain extent, to a certain extent, I probably will be skeptic because, you see when you're not, when you're used to like a service in a system, when you're used to like a service like being done a certain way, and like especially like a to-go order, like you're gonna feel more comfortable knowing that, all right, at least the service is being provided by like a restaurant that I'm used to. So if I have to pay, if I'm given a tip for this to-go order that I'm getting, at least I know that I'm used to. But if it's another to-go, you're asking if it's another to-go order. No, I think like
let me rephrase, guys. So make sure you interpret the question right.
Yeah.
So meaning that when you go to a restaurant, right, you gotta do a to-go order. You just ordered your food, you didn't tip. You selected that you don't want to tip. And then somebody behind you just came, they ordered their food and they tipped. Are you skeptic that their food will be treated differently from your food because they tipped?
Oh, you know what? Thanks for bringing clarity to the question. You know what? No, I don't. It's really bad. I don't really look at it like that, because I mean, it's not like if I was doing it, that means I would be looking at what the next customer is providing. Because most of the time when a customer is paying for their food, you very rarely can know if they tip, because unless you're standing here watching if that guy is tipping, So well,
usually you can see, because usually if you're in a line and they're in front of you, you can see how much they're gonna tip and all that.
but Tristan, I think that would be weird, like, because most of the time, like, when a customer is in front of me and they're paying for their food, I generally turn my head away, because I don't really look see what they're doing. But if a customer in front of me, I just play like devil's advocate. If a customer in front of me pay and give a tip, and I don't tip, I mean, I don't think I'm bothered by that, because as I said, yeah, I just feel that there's no need for me to provide any tips. So I don't really worry to see if they're going to treat my food bad. Because it depends. If it's a restaurant that you normally always go to Tristan and like, I always go to like Island Cafe to get my other set. But I don't think they're going to do that. I might be wrong, but I don't really let that be something bother me. I would normally be bothered if it was like a Jamaican restaurant. I'm not going to lie to you. Because like a lot of times, them people they mean, very mean, and them people you go there and like I give them a tip and say, all right, you know what, I'm gonna mess up them food or do something to it, like this is something I make shit. And we can talk about a different situation. Like me, you can recall me there Jamaica, but this is not nothing to do with tip. I was at a stand one time and some police were doing spot check, just to show you. And like when the mother spot check, like them stop a couple guys and some guy give them money and them thing there. And then get money and then this police officer go say, you know what, it's that brother that we taking care enough and then come out of the force, giving them go like and give them money and them thing. So so I can understand, man, but this is trying to link it back to your question, so I can understand why somebody might feel like if this person give me a tip and you come on and give me a tip, I'm going to treat that person better. But there's something that bother me,
Like for example, like let's say let's say when they're preparing your food and let's say a piece of chicken fall on the floor, they probably just take it up back and put it in the plate.
That's the worst thing what I imagine in Tristan. That's the worst thing. That's the worst thing what. You know what? Tell you a thing though. I went to this Chinese restaurant one time in Tristan to do a to-go, right? Because I have some bad experience with Chinese food. I'm not lying. But went to this restaurant. While I was standing there, I see a huge piece of ear in a chicken. I call it the guy and say, you know what? I see a piece of ear in this food. And the guy he took out the ear, So I don't bother buying the food over there. You know what I did? I walk across. And the Chinese man come over there and like him come watch this like, what me say, but why him come over here, so, like him watch it, I will look back around like the man take the food and chew it back. Because not because we tell him say the ear in the food, him take it out for a minute and thing, but him think him that dumb that because here now, but he still chew it back. So I just say, I don't look on it like that. I don't think I can't ever think, because if me have to go to a restaurant and I think like that, do a Tristan, like I probably now go back there go eat.
Yeah.
Honestly.
True.
So I don't really look on it like that, honestly.
It's just a thought, because you never know. There's people that probably for the most part that doesn't happen, but I think to an extent it probably does happen, because people aren't perfect, and there's a lot of people that are working in a certain industry that they that in the restaurant industry particularly, that they aren't all good people. Some people mean good, some people genuine, they're just doing a service, but not all people are like that.
Yeah, sister. Cause as I say, it just depends. Cause sometimes the customer like they are mischievous. You have mischievous customer will go to a restaurant. I'm just trying to get that the cashier or whoever and get that person pissed off. And like I could see their need for. I could see the reason why they want to like to treat their food badly because of the way the customer deal with them. So I understand that, but it just depends. Like if it's a case where like you go to a restaurant genuinely and you have no confrontation with whoever is providing the food and you just feel like I'm going to treat this customer's food bad. Well, I think that's a mischievous service provider.
But even if there's a confrontation, they shouldn't do anything with the food. You understand?
Well, I could see that, but that well, you know what you stand, they shouldn't do anything with the food, but you say in that case I would worry. I would worry because like that's gonna be the reason for them to want to treat your food badly, or a lot of times there's people spit in people's food. Like, I just the worst thing I want to imagine,
Yeah.
Somebody spit in my food.
And that thing, it happens, but and that's why I try to be nice to people that are serving my food now, because last thing I want somebody to do, because I don't know any of these people, the last thing I want them to do is feel upset and they do something like that, and one thing is me not knowing, another thing is me finding out while I'm eating. You understand?
And most time you're not even gonna find out. That's the thing. Of course they can cheat the food. It's not say best. It's best if you don't know, you know. Honestly,
Exactly.
the best if you don't know because the best if you don't know. I always try to do like go to a restaurant. When I go to a restaurant and try to like to feast with people and like to be disrespectful because I know everybody's doing a job. Because sometimes as much as you have bad service provider, you also have mischievous customers too. You know, mischievous customer can make it be a bad day. And the worst people that you want to piss off is somebody who's preparing your food. You know, if you do that, then that's a recipe for you getting like a bad meal. So.
All right, my boss. Respect callers for the call. I'm gonna close the live out right now. You know, everybody, I appreciate you guys for dropping in. I appreciate you guys for commenting. I appreciate you guys for participating in the live. You know what I mean? And again, guys, remember to like the live. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And remember to share it to somebody that might be interested in this type of content. You know, we're having nice conversation. We try to keep it clean. No mix up or anything like that. You know, but just normal conversation about day-to-day things that people have to deal with. You know what I mean? On a regular basis. So, you know, thank you for everybody. Thank you to everybody that came out. And I wish you guys a wonderful Sunday evening. I have some food that's waiting on me right now. And I'm losing energy, so I gotta leave you guys, alright? So bless up everybody. And bless up Carlos.
Yeah, thanks again, sister.
Alright, bless
up. Remember, everyone should remember to subscribe and share and like, you know. I just want to add that, sister.
Naturally.
Yeah. Alright, thanks again, sister.
Alright, blessings.
Wait.